All right. Hey, guys, what's up? It says we are live. Welcome to Caliber Corner, episode number 87. Real quick, before we get any other details out, I just want to let you guys know that we'll be switching to Thursday evenings from 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 Eastern Time, East Coast Time. And just got a lot of stuff coming up here. And so I'm going to be really, really busy on the weekends. And so you're going to see us doing that little time change, but make sure you guys join us and make sure you guys have mashed the bell so you get the alerts about that. We got a great panel. Looks like people are already getting rowdy over on the YouTube side right now, which is good. We'll see who we got over on the gun channel side this morning. Dead Horse is over there. Sand Horse is over there, and those guys are both with us right now. Looks like Paper Plane Crash will be jumping in here in a second over on the chat on the gun channel side. So real quick, guys, let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves, and then we'll go ahead and take attendance and see who's joining us. So, Tony, we're going to start off with you. What's going on, brother?
It's rainy, damp, crappy Saturday.
So you got everything we had yesterday. Okay, I got you. We even had some snow last night. Western part of the state had up to 5 inches. It's spring, isn't it? I guess. I don't know.
That's what they're saying.
So, Tony, what you been up to lately, man?
Watching the grandkids and messing with this darn dog.
Mess with, are you training it or what? You turning into a hunting dog or what?
About turned into a rug.
Oh, geez. Okay, then. All right. Well, that's good to hear. All right, man. So, guys, Tony's been with us for a real long time here. Tony, you gonna be able to join us in the evenings on Thursdays? You gonna be able to jump in?
Maybe. You said it's 5 to 7.
6 to 8 Eastern, 5 to 7 Central. We'll be done before Sergeant Show fires off.
Yeah, probably I can join in if I remember it.
All right. Well, I'll send you a little PM through Gun Channel. So, all right, man. Cool. Squid.
I'll have to give you my phone number, and you can text me on my phone because I'm not on the Gun Channel all the time.
I may have it. I know I've got a couple of your Gmail. I've got your Gmail address too. I can always send you a message too. So, cool. All right, man. Squid, what is new in your world, man? What's going on?
Oh, not too much. I'm mobile right now just because, and my phone is getting hot like black cats. So,
all right.
Well, if I drop out, I gotta wait for it to cool off and jump back in. But
no problem.
Otherwise, thanks for the invite, and I always like jumping in on the show.
Cool. So, what's coming up on the channel, man? You got anything new lined up for us, or what?
I've got a few videos in the queue that I can just hit. Public, some speaking squibbish, nothing really special, and I think I got one reloading video. I've got more projects than I have time to do, and I've got all kinds of plans. I've even got a notebook that I started filling up with notes. It's just putting it into action. It's but I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that's just like, oh man, I just can't wait. For this video, although eventually I'll release my e-begging video and I'll have no friends left, but that's something for down the road. So.
I thought you've already done a video on that. Oh, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Hey, I watched your unboxing of that 58, I think, last night, and I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, now, see, that I want to do a series this year where I try it out, and I already took it to the range once and shot it, and I shot some footage. I haven't edited it, and I thought I'll just make a bunch of short videos where I go over, my learning curve with this thing and trying out a couple different things. For example, that's I think that's a new Birdie, and I bought a spare Pieta cylinder, and it wouldn't fit. Well, I want to go back and try it again and see if I can get it to fit, but, maybe do a video on that, and then do a video on a couple different maybe powder charges, or just kind of try not to turn it into a 30 or 45-minute video where I cover everything, but just chop it up into smaller videos. The other thing is my worst video is the one with the most views. That's one on the Lamat. That one, at a certain point, I want to go back. I want to redo it. I want to fix one of the problems, or attempt to fix one of the problems with the gun, and then do a bunch of shorter videos with the Lamat, and then delete that video or take it down or whatever. But right now, people are just clicking on it, and it's like, hey, you want to watch it? It's my worst work. But that's something I haven't made time for, in addition to a whole bunch of other videos. For example, today this morning I was drinking some of this Bang energy drink. Yeah, okay, Travis, this stuff sucks. So
no,
I don't even know.
what flavor did you get? Did you get rainbow unicorn or not?
No, I couldn't find it.
I mean, because you say it sucks. I mean, you got to put the whole can down. Then you let me know if it works. There's a difference between it sucking and working. I mean, it might taste like garbage, but get you all wired up. But if it tastes good and get you wired up, you got to get the rainbow unicorn, dude. I can't speak for the other flavors because sometimes energy drinks are just freaking nasty. They just taste like
it wasn't the flavor. I had the blue rave, and it was I could deal with it. It gave me some energy, but then when it finally fizzled out, I cracked open this Sour Heads, and it hasn't really done very much for me. So I got 2 other flavors to try. If I can find this
rainbow unicorn,
pink fluffy unicorn rainbow magic. Whatever.
Rainbow if you don't like strawberry soda, don't drink rainbow unicorn because that's what it tastes like. It tastes like strawberry pop. Yeah.
Well, so I shot some footage of the 4 cans on my reload bench, and then I just turned the camera upside down and just me cracking one open. Then I turned the camera upside down and me cracking another one open. I haven't even looked to see if the angle is any good. But I'm talking about what it tastes like, and then I turn the camera on. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I'm good, or whatever it is. So I'm not even sure if I'll use that footage. And I do a lot of that sort of thing. I'll shoot video. Sometimes I'll shoot multiple takes, or I'll shoot multiple angles or something like that. Then I'll go back and look at it and see if I can cobble it together. If I can't, then I just use it as B-roll for my speaking squibbish, because speaking squibbish is just voiceovers.
Yeah.
And I need some sort of video in the background. So any video you watch, that's the stuff that got cut on the editing floor. So I try to at least go, make something out of it. But that's what's been going on with my videos is just a lot of shooting videos, taking time to edit, and then going, nah, this sucks. Or, this was no good, or, oh man, I missed this. I got to go back. And the video I released on Friday of me hiking in Red Rock Canyon, I shot that footage last August, and I'm just now releasing it. So that gives you an idea of how much stuff. I mean, my local FFL, I've been in there 2 or 3 times filming. I told them I'd release a video. I haven't even done it. I haven't,
it's good to have a lot of content to work with, though. Then you don't feel like you have to be pressured to rush anything out. You've always got something you can go back to, which is kind of nice.
Well, I'm having fun doing it, though. If I had to do this for a job, I would definitely work a lot harder at it. I'd do a lot better work. But this is a hobby, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'm having fun, even though it's taking a lot of time. So if the video does seem a little bit rushed, it's probably because after so many hours of editing, I just go, good enough, publish. So,
yeah.
All
right, man. Well, hey, there's a lot of good stuff to check out. Hey, that's the thing, guys. Make sure you subscribe to everybody on the panel here. Make sure you check out their channels. We got content on there for you. Lots of good stuff, so do check it out. So, all right, man. So joining us from Nebraska, we've got Sandhills Shooter. Sandhills, what's new in your world, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're dry, sorta. Did you guys get some snow last night?
No, it tried, but nothing ever collected. It was just a little bit that I could see in the headlights driving home.
We had like an hour of Dippin' Dots falling from the sky. I was going to go outside with a spoon and start eating them, those little tiny pebbles. Super frozen pebbles.
None of them were strawberry, though. So
No. I could take those and pour like rainbow unicorn on top of them, make like a slushie out of them.
I think you're a little too obsessed with the rainbow unicorn at this point.
No, hey, I'll tell you what, it's good stuff, but I would not want to make a habit of it. That stuff had me jacked for hours, man. I'm telling you. So, hey, what's new coming up on the channel, man? What can we expect to find?
We still have our weekly 2A Tuesday chats, 9 o'clock Central Time every Tuesday night.
Okay.
And we did try something this last Tuesday that I haven't got a whole lot of feedback on.
Okay.
What I have had was kind of positive, so we might keep doing once a month. We might just do no panel and just have the wife and me in here.
I thought it was good. It was cool to get some insight, kind of get the wife's opinion on things. And you guys sitting there talking about just taking all kinds of Q&A. I thought it was really good. It was really well done.
I really liked it. I missed the days that I used to have a lot of windshield time and I could just go live and talk to people.
Oh, I know, man.
It was kind of like that, but I could focus on the chat because I'm not driving. So
I miss those views of the Nebraska prairie, but then I realized I could just go 2 blocks north and it's right there. So
yeah, for you it's easy, but for everybody else, they don't know what they're missing unless we show them. So
I'll walk in the street and I'm like, this is the end of town. Damn.
Well, right now, though, a lot of the Nebraska prairie, you have to have a canoe.
Pretty much.
So.
I've been in Omaha for the last couple of days at a tech conference for
Oh my
teachers.
gosh.
It was just. I'm glad that this stuff's going to be dry before the mosquito season kicks in because it would be freaking malaria city, man.
What's the closest way to get from Lexington to Omaha? Do you have to go like through Kansas City and then Denver?
No. I-80 was open the whole time. I-80 had no trouble at all.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there was water that was almost up to the sides of the road around the Grand Island area, and then a few spots east. There's like you're at water level is what it feels like, and that stuff's not going anywhere until it dries. But you're fine. I don't know about the highways. I think my parents still can't get out of their town to come west to Lex without having to take a huge detour. But no, the rest of the state's hopefully drying up. So,
cool.
Hey, how many days do we have left on the fundraiser?
It hasn't really taken off like I hoped. So originally when I set it up, 2. I was just going to run it through the end of March, but we'll see what happens. I may extend that out through April just because I've got a few donations, but not near what the goal was. So
what it is Sandals has taken up a collection for Nebraska Strong. Is that what we're going to call the organization? I've seen several now, so I want to make sure I have it right.
Well, Nebraska Strong is just the hashtag that everybody uses.
Okay. And the money's going to go help out families in need because a lot of families lost everything. And, insurance or not, it's still going to take time for people to rebuild, to clean up. A lot of people weren't even living in floodplains and they lost their homes. It was places that have never flooded before basically had flooded. And so Sandhills has taken up a collection. Sandhills, you want to post your link over on the chat on the gun channel side and the YouTube side and we'll let people know about it?
Yep. I'm actually working on that right now.
We've had several gun channel members contribute to it, which is awesome. I still need to myself. I'm going to. I just haven't done it yet because I've been out of town. But we're
currently at $160 of the $2,500 goal that we set.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, guys. So if you got anything you can do to help out, the money is going to go directly back to the people to help people out. It's not. Yeah.
I tell you what, for those of you that are listening, if you don't have the means or don't feel like donating money yourselves, that's absolutely fine. If you could just do us a favor and go on my channel, find my Nebraska Strong video, and just share the heck out of it. It's also on the Facebook page, Sandhill Shooter.
Yeah.
So get that out to everybody. Let them know that this is there. And anybody who's not in Nebraska that wants to help out, they can get the opportunity to see what's going on and do that then. But the thing about this is every dollar that we raise to donate, we're going to make sure that it stays within Nebraska. So anybody that donates to Nebraska can rest assured that the money's going to stay here. There's an organization here in my town that's local that's doing a lot of work, and then I know Nebraska Farm Bureau is doing a lot of work, and that's going to stay local. So there's going to be a couple different organizations that we can get this money to if I can get enough to make it worth donating to more than one place.
Awesome, man. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
All right, and the man that's with us right now, Dead Horse. Have you ever been on Caliber Corner before? And if so, why not? Why have I not got you on here before, man?
Because it's 8 o'clock Saturday morning.
Are you usually working Saturday morning, Dead Horse?
Usually, especially my time off for myself, I usually have like something going, 3D printer, stuff like that. I usually have a bunch of noise going,
Okay, so what can we find if we check out your channel? What kind of content do you have?
Usually I do a Sunday chat during the, I guess, spring, summer, fall months.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything guns, just try and keep it gun related, gun topics, specifically, shooting them, ballistics, reloading. I'm just a gun guy. Like, that's my hobby, right? So, I enjoy talking about it and sharing my passion and, the little bit I've learned over the years and,
Good deal. All right, man. Well, appreciate you being with us, and we'll talk about my little purchase over here in a bit when we get to it. So it's awesome, man. All right. Calaveras joining us from Cali. Calaveras, what's new in your world, bro?
Just not a whole lot. Appreciate the invite, and that's for when you switch to Thursdays. I'll jump in when I can, but might not be every week. As for what's new in the world,
what's new on the channel, man? What's going on?
Through some of the legal mumbo jumbo and see what the California court decision about the magazine, how it affects things.
Well, as soon as you find out, let me know, and I'll pop this in the mail for you. Okay. All right. Send that your way. So, man, I tell you what, first thing I would do as soon as that gets approved is I would go run off someplace and go buy a case of PMags Because you know, if you can get them under a time that they're legal, then you would think be grandfathered in, but there's no guarantees. But
well, that's where California has tried the whole not grandfathering, and you have to destroy them or turn them in, and we won't pay for them and that kind of stuff before. So
yeah,
I'm probably gonna hold off until my guess is because one court made the decision it went as a hold on it until things were decided. It went to the Ninth Circuit, and Ninth said, okay, yes, the hold is legit. Back to the lower court to just to finish their work, and that's what just happened. The lower court just finished their saying it's unconstitutional. With from what I've heard, the opinion that was released was a very well put together, scholarly way of putting it.
Okay.
So it should be fairly solid, but
Okay.
there's a good chance it's going to go back to the Ninth. Yes, I'm sure someone will challenge it. It'll go back, and we'll see how it goes from there. If they contradict their previous statement, then there's a good chance it's going to go above them. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Man, it's just, God, how much longer is it going to go on? It's been like feels like a decade now that you guys have had to fight to try to keep those mags, but man, it's just crazy.
Well, it's the latest 10-round magazine ban was put in, I believe, in 2000.
Oh, jeez.
That damn Ninth Court needs to be completely replaced.
Oh. And it's the voters that put those people into power, right? It's those voters that put the judges in power that are in for basically life, more or less.
For the circuit court, I thought they were appointed. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. That's what I'm.
Again, it's all going to trickle down to who gives who permission and who puts those people in power. God. All right, man. Well, hey, we'll come back to it in a little bit because I do have a few more questions for you on the topic, because that was kind of late breaking news for a lot of us last night about that. About striking it down. So, all right. And joining us again, we got Black Cat Outdoors with us. What's going on, Black Cat?
Not much. I'm at work, driving around here.
All right. So you're mobile. We'll let you know if you're roboting out. So what's new on the channel, man? What can we find?
I don't think I had anything new. I did a little bit of a live stream earlier in the week.
Okay.
I'll probably go live a little bit later, either this afternoon or this evening sometime. I might do a little bit of a live stream. Okay. I'm working on getting some stuff around for beginning of fishing season here. Got to get my fishing stuff ready to roll, and I should in the next week or two maybe have another gun or two in here to review. So
cool.
We'll have to check it out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to put together that little tackle box from the video this spring and go out and actually test it and get myself a pole and see if I can catch something. I'm probably the world's worst fisherman. I used to fish with the old man when I was a kid, and then hadn't done it from like middle school on, junior high on. So yeah.
I finally found a decently priced, like a collapsible rod. So now I have enough rods that I can actually go out and fish with that kit with like 3 or 4 different rods and see which one kind of pans out the best. Because I wasn't sure which one to do, but I got a little Zebco Dock Demon, and then I got a collapsible rod now, and I got this little like pen rod that somebody on one of the fishing forums I'm on suggested you can order it off eBay. So I ordered that, and I got that in. I don't know how that's going to work, but
yeah.
I'll try it.
How I like to say it, Travis, is I'm great at fishing. I'm just terrible at catching.
Catching stuff? You got it. Yeah, that's about right. That sounds like my hunting luck, man. I'll tell you what. Oh, damn. All right, man. So thanks for joining us again, dude. I appreciate you being here, and again, chime in anytime. So, and joining us from New Jersey, we got AWAG in the house. AWAG, you might as well give us a PSL update, because I feel like it's a child of ours on this panel, because you've been discussing it for the last 85 episodes. So what's up, dude?
PSL is done. It is good.
Oh, seriously? You got it completely finished?
Yep, 100% finished. I got it right here. I'm actually just waiting on a flash hider for it, because the amount of muzzle blast this thing puts off, even with a 24-inch barrel, that's without a compensator. This thing is just, it's like this giant flashlight.
Just leave it off there. It'll terrify all those people over in New York, man. Why don't you just?
No, I want to put a flash hider to terrify the people here.
So, what kind of a flash hider can you actually put on it that's not going to get you put in prison?
I can put whatever I want on it as long as it's not an actual suppressor, because it has a thumb hole stock. Because New Jersey has this weird point system where it's if it can attach a high capacity magazine, which it can't because there's only 10 rounders available for it. And
so they couldn't bust you and say, well, you could fabricate a 30 if you want to. They couldn't get you for that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they'd have to the only thing that they could bust me probably for is if I give the police officer a hard time. Which I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, I hear Jersey cops are incredibly pleasant people to deal with. So.
Oh yeah, and have you seen lately that prison cops basically assaulted a guy who was in the hospital for being suicidal? Have you heard about that?
Well, were they trying to restrain him from hurting himself, and they had to use excessive force to get the man to calm down, or what?
No, the guy was in the hospital and he was lethargic on a bed, and this cop just starts wailing on this guy.
Good God, man! Was this on his body cam or what?
No, this was actually another police officer that was recording it with a phone.
Was he sitting there encouraging him to do it, or what?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
Saw a little tidbit
off the rocker, man.
Yeah. So with the PSL done, I ended up building another AKM, which I haven't posted pictures anywhere, and I think I only posted a picture on Matt's Wednesday night chat last week. It is of it's a Romanian AKM that I built.
Okay.
Which is based off of a parts kit that was, I guess, a battlefield pickup, and it has trench art on it and stuff.
Oh, nice.
I kind of teased with the trench art wood photos on the Instagram.
Okay.
But I really haven't released a photo of the rifle itself. So other than that, it turned out okay. So it's actually a lot lighter than I thought it would be.
Okay. Hey, go ahead.
Right now, other than that, the only thing that I'm waiting on is an M76 receiver that should be shipped Monday. And I think that's going to be my last AK for a while.
Okay.
I am sitting on more parts kits, but I want to start focusing on the Toyota.
Okay. No, that's all right, man. And with it warming up and stuff, you can get outside and work on the car a little bit more, and
He's still in the Mustang because he's tired of crashing into crowds. So
yeah, exactly, man.
Hey, if you guys want to buy a V6 automatic Mustang, I got one for sale. Yeah. If you guys mention that you heard it on Gun Channels, I'll give you.
Why would you want to drive a Mustang with a V6? Why would you ever think to? Now I shouldn't talk because the newer ones actually have more power than my old Fox Body 5-liter had in it. So I'm going to eat those own words, but still,
I didn't have an option for that. So
there's always an option. Yeah, don't go there when it comes to cars. There's always an option. So
that's why I got the Supra.
All right, good point. So, Dead Horse, I want to answer your question real quick because I don't want to type the response. Dead Horse asked a question. If you watch my video with the Magwell grip that I showed off a couple weeks ago, the Rhino Magwell grip, that M-Bus sight that's on the back, that's the fake one that I've been testing for about a year on the channel. I've been checking to see if it would hold zero or break or snap off. I've got the little $5 imitation M-Bus sights, which I would never recommend for any kind of real combat or any kind of self-defense, and I said that in the video. It's kind of sticking up a little bit because it's a knockoff. It does not have the precision molding of an M-Bus flip-up rear sight, and you can't tell when you buy those things if they're going to be good or not, but I've been trying to see if I can get it to lose zero, and it's been solid the whole time. This is a little $5 rear sight, but I've actually found something that I like a little bit better that's a little more expensive but still higher quality. I'm going to show that off here in a little bit. Than those knockoff. I would just say, guys, don't ever buy those little $5 knockoff M-Bus sights. There, a lot of times the molding is off or the front stock is made out of plastic and stuff. They're garbage. So either save up and buy Magwell. What's that?
And that's the flip up, backup sights.
Yeah, the fake M-Bus sights.
Hey, Dead, I can't remember what they're called. Dead Horse. That's for you suggested a set of UTG metal ones.
UTG Pros, yeah.
I've got.
I'll just show you.
I use those on mine, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I got
very expensive.
I got the first gen UTGs. I think I paid $35 for the set, and they're just like they're over engineered. They're bulky, but they are freaking solid. I've run them on multiple rifles, and man, the UTG metal sights, I think they do a pretty good job on those. I can't speak to their optics and stuff, but like their handrails seem to be pretty good too. But okay, so real quick, Calaveras, to come back to you, talking about that 10-round magazine ban. Who's defending the 2A people? Who's defending? Who's in favor of it? What group is representing? Is it like California Gun Owners Association, or is there a certain group that's pushing to who filed the unconstitutional declaration anyway?
I don't know. That's right. I don't know that much detail on it. I know that's for it's a court case. That's for, of course, like all of them. It's an individual person. They probably are getting backup from one of the local, one of the state groups, but I'm not sure exactly who it is.
Yeah. Let's see. So Guitar Man Pete saying UTG customer service sucks. That's why I buy from Amazon, because I got like 14 days to return it if it doesn't work. I've never had to use UTG customer service because the stuff that I bought from them has never had any issues. But like I said, it's mainly just been metal flip up sites. I mean, they're not that's hard to screw up, but that's usually a solid purchase when you get one. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Calaveras, whatever group is doing it, they definitely need our support because they are definitely on our side. So let's hope that they get that overturned. I'm sure we'll get a lot more details on it soon. But man, I'll tell you what, they lift that ban, and if it's a federal declaration, let's just say that it rules in your favor, that supersedes state law and state ordinances, or not? It would, right? Because like the bump stock ban, technically that would be a federal law or ordinance or ban, whatever you want to call it. And even if a state says we're going to allow it, technically you could still get in trouble if you had one. So is that going to be like the situation with the mags, kind of the reverse of that? You could have them and the state police couldn't do anything to you? I
believe so, because that's where it's a federal court, but it's it's a challenge to the state law. So that's where it's worked its way up through the system so far. So I believe, if it ends up going the way I think it could, because like I said, probably going to go to the 9th. And then from there, depending on how they rule, could go to SCOTUS, assuming SCOTUS actually takes it. It may not just affect ours. It may actually affect AWAG and whoever else as well, depending on how far it goes. But yeah, that's where it's a challenge to the states regulating, a magazine capacity law.
Go to sound settings.
I mean, that is a big deal, man. Because as soon as they get that thing overturned, dude, you can go run off someplace and go pick up a whole freaking case full of PMags and enjoy freedom, dude. Man,
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, cool. So man, all right, so let's move into this one. I haven't talked about this for quite a while. You guys are on the panel, or anybody out there in the chat, chime in. What do we got for Spring 2A rallies coming up? Is there anything that's going to be going on now that it's warming up a little bit? We can actually gather and mobilize and get out there and really spread the word. What have you guys heard anything about any rallies coming up in your areas at all?
We have the Harrisburg Capitol rally May 6th coming up here in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Which I'll be at.
Okay. Now, what for you guys, have there been any restrictions or proposals for restrictions like in the last couple months you guys had to worry about or not?
The only one I know is the red flag stuff. There's red flag law restrictions proposed, basically the same as in every state.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's happening everywhere. Yeah.
They're the only ones I think that have any traction. Really, I mean, our governor is completely anti-gun, but the legislature still is mostly conservative, and they're not letting anything get to a vote, basically, or get passed. Basically, nothing's made it out of committee yet. They pretty much are killing everything in committee right now. But the red flag law thing could possibly get through. So
man,
that's one thing we'll be pushing when we talk to state reps down there in May. Stuff about that. And I don't have the specific bill numbers in front of me or anything right now, but
so Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, May 6th. Make sure you guys are definitely there for that one.
And that's a Monday, which I apologize for people that I don't set the dates, but we always do it on a weekday because that's when the legislators are actually there in their offices and in session. So
is it April or May?
It's May.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because April 6th is a Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's May 6th.
Yeah. All right, man. Cool. So now, is it on a Monday because that's how you guys had to get the permit for the rally, or what?
It's always on a weekday. Generally, it's on a Monday or a Tuesday because the weekend, obviously, they're not there. Monday is a travel day partially for it. So if we do the rally in the morning, then in the afternoon, a lot of times you can catch reps in their offices to speak to them. Like if you wanted to go see your state rep or any, but the way we run this rally in Harrisburg in May, it's put on by the Firearm Owners Against Crime, is partial sponsor of it, which is a lobbying group, an organization I'm with, Pennsylvania Firearm Owners Association, and one or two of our state reps are all kind of come together to put this on as a rally. So you have like an hour and a half rally, and then there's actually lobbyists from the FOAC that will walk around with you. Like you can join a group, and they walk around and pick a list of reps to go visit, state senators and state representatives, and you can go around along with a group, and they'll kind of help you speak because they're used to speaking to them if you're not comfortable. Or you can go off on your own and pick like reps that you like your state reps to go speak to. There's a group of us from PAFOA that usually hook up together and do our own thing and go around. We're all from the same rally, but we'll go around on our own and speak to reps because we've been doing it for several years. So we just are comfortable with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man. So Calaveras, what about you? 2A rallies, are they a rare event in California? Is there just like an annual one that a lot of people go to, or is there like quarterly, or what happens in California? I mean, we're talking a huge area, and I know you probably don't hear about all of them.
At least up in the Sacramento area where I'm at, it tends to be very sporadic. They'll have one and then they won't, and they'll have one and they won't. I don't know of any coming up at the moment. But yeah, that's where I'm not aware of anything that's like a regularly scheduled annual or semi-annual or anything else event.
Yeah. I hear you, man. All right. Anybody else got anything coming up that they know of? Tony or Squib, Sandhills, you guys got anything? We got anything coming up here in Nebraska or out there east, guys?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Now, I'm surprised Nebraska hasn't organized one yet. Of course, it's been so freaking cold that maybe they'll do something this summer or do something this spring, because we'd want to have them, but with our luck, it'd be like a blizzard or something,
Can I say one more too there?
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
Travis. We did the Pittsburgh rally there kind of a couple months ago. That's kind of one of the biggest things in this state right now is they're trying to subvert our state preemption law. And Pittsburgh's kind of at the forefront of it. They want to pass their illegal laws and get it into the court system where we have to sue them. Mm-hmm. So there may be, we're looking at it, I think in mid-April is somewhere. They haven't set the date when they're supposed to vote on those laws. And the mayor has said he is going to sign them if the city council gets it through. So we are probably going to have kind of a spur of the moment march into Pittsburgh if they pass those laws, which I can't tell anybody to show up for that or not, because technically you will be in violation of a city ordinance if you march into there with a scary black rifle on that day, because it'll be the day that they pass the laws. But there is a group of us that are planning on marching if and when they pass that on that day. So, and I'll put information up on that on my channel or my Instagram account when that day comes, when we get to that point. But the only way it'll get through the court system is if people have standing to fight it, which means somebody's going to have to get cited for it before you can actually take it through court. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It's like I'll tell you what, I got to give. Okay, the Arabic Calaveras is asking a question. The guy's actually asking a question over there. There's an Arabic. I went ahead and ran it through Google Translate. So don't block the guy. He just wanted to know there's a certain brand of cleaning product. He wants to know why it's not available in his country. So the guy says, peace and blessings from Iraq. He goes, I've got a question for you. It says Jesse Cleaning Products, and there must be something lost in the translation. So I just responded back to him. I just said, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to cleaning products, there could be chemicals. There could be reasons why you can't ship stuff from one country to the next. Maybe somebody watches YouTube videos and we're always using, CLP or Balisol or Rem oil. Why can't I get this in my country or my state? I don't have a lot of international viewers that I hear from, but I know that some of these products are available in foreign countries. But it's a good question, man. I don't know. Let's let the guy keep talking, and you guys feel free to run that through Google Translate if you want. respond back if you want. So
because we're pulling out of Iraq, and that includes all of the American imports too.
we're taking. Oh, that's a possibility. Maybe we have stuff that goes over there that shows up on the markets and stuff that people bring with them or troops use or whatnot, and stuff's not going to be available once we get out of there. That's a good question. So yeah, we'll just, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on it. We're good to go. Yeah, I want to. You know what? I want to give a shout out to Yankee Marshall. Love him or hate him, man. It took balls for him to put up his latest video. He's got half his face paralyzed, and he's coming out there and he's criticizing lazy gun owners. I mean, he laid it out there, and I'll tell you what: if you guys aren't active, if you're not doing anything, if you don't support any kind of pro-gun organizations, if you don't do anything more than just buy your guns and sit around and don't do anything about it, he's got a point, man. I mean, there's no way. His video was about Civil War and how there would be a revolution or civil war, how there would be no win for the Pro 2A crowd because we're too lazy to get out and fight. If we won't lift a finger to write a letter, what's going to cause us to pull the trigger if we have to? And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wouldn't act unless civil disorder showed up on their doorstep. They might be the biggest Pro 2A person in the world, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Did you guys get a chance to watch this video lately?
If Civil War comes literally to your doorstep, it's too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a good point about being active, and I think that the fact that we don't have spring rallies going on right now, the fact that we're not just saying, oh yeah, there's one going on this date, and this date, and I understand people are busy, people have jobs, people work, but your 2A rights, man, that is pretty much the core foundation of being able to do what you do right now and live the life that you do, because we do have our firearms. So it's my little soapbox. We need to get out there. We need to get active.
I think about all the stories that I've heard of the Civil War about like brother fighting brother.
Yeah.
But over something like this nowadays, the way it could tear not only families, communities, groups, that could really split like way. I mean, just really, really bad. Like, yeah. I mean, it already is causing a lot of divide, because that's why we were talking about it, right? But
I think it must have been that way, though, even back in the 19th century, just because, I mean, can you imagine sitting around before the South tried to secede and people sitting around the dinner table Sunday afternoon? I'm sure some of those conversations got just as heated then as they do now, when you had some people in the family that sympathize with the North, some with the South. It's really no different, I don't think, today. The only thing that would be different is if we had a civil war today with the modern technology, everybody loses.
Well, especially if it's us versus a government, versus a tyrannical government or a government that's finally coming to take your guns. I mean, I think if you had, I could see the red flag laws, if they would somehow get passed in all 50 states. I think that it's going to get to a point where you're going to have that person that's like, you know what? No, I'm going out, blaze of glory. You're not taking my guns. I didn't do anything. There will be people that will act because, we see people, how they respond in the panel, and we know the kind of people that are out there. I mean, there are going to be people that's just going to push them too far, and they're finally getting, and that could spark, who knows? I mean, that could spark communities to get together. That could spark people to start fighting back because they're tired of seeing their rights stripped from them, and they don't care if they lose everything, their lives, their families, their jobs. They're willing to just whatever,
That's your thing right there. I don't foresee any civil war just because of people have it too good in this country no matter what, Are you willing to give up your whole life, your family, everything? You know what I mean? That's how many people would be willing to do that. People have it too good, even our, And
here's my question. What I would consider a red flag gun confiscation laws tyrannical rule, because it's empowering the government to take something away from you based off of somebody else's opinion or thought about you, even though you committed no crime. To me, that is tyranny right there. That's my definition of it. And I always hear people say, well, you're willing to lose your house over that? Well, if you lose your guns, you lose your freedom, you have nothing. Your kids have nothing. Your grandkids have nothing. At what point are people going to start taking a step up and say, now again, it does not have to be through violence, war, and revolution. It can be done through elections. It can be done through representing, it can be done through who you vote for and who you write and getting active. It does not have to turn into violence.
It's funny that you bring that up, though, because just a couple nights ago, I had a long discussion with somebody who was worried about overnight becoming a criminal because of his bump stock. And he literally worried himself to the point where he was sick because he had to go chop the thing up. And everybody I mean, a ton of people, including his own wife that he was talking to, would say, don't worry about it. Just don't cut it up. Just don't even worry about it. You know, it's not that big of a deal. They're never going to come door to door. And he lives in one of the Dakotas. And he said, you know, that's probably true. 99% chance that that's never going to happen. But that 1%, if anybody would squeal and say that I have this and the cops show up, he goes, you know, I was putting my 2-year-old to bed tonight thinking it could be 10 years before I see him again.
Yeah.
And
that's the reality of it. And we sit,
really
there and say, we sit there and say boating accident. And we say, oh, I'm just not going to say anything. Okay, don't. But there are people that are genuinely concerned for their families and their freedom.
It's really easy to say, you know, they'll never take mine, or don't even worry about it, or it's an unconstitutional law you don't have to follow, until you're faced with a 10-year prison sentence. And you've got, you know, kids at home and a wife at home that you might not see for a long time. He goes, that $250 piece of plastic isn't worth my life, or, you know, the life that I have now. But it made him sick. And I think that we've got a budding activist on our hands. He's calling state senators and everybody else now just to express the fact that, hey, this isn't right. But I mean, we can all sit and say, you know, what we think we do when faced with that decision. But in all honesty, when you put your kid to bed that night and you think about the fact that that piece of plastic, you know, down in the safe might make it to where you can't see him for 10 years and he's almost ready to graduate high school again before you get to even kiss him goodnight. I had never thought about it from that perspective until I was talking to him that night. And that was just nuts, you know, that there's people that are obviously that don't care, but there's going to be a lot of people in his situation where you don't really have a choice. You have to obey the law or you become a criminal yourself. So a lot of us don't want to be criminals.
And again, once it shows up on your doorstep, that is now reality. How are you going to deal with that? What exactly are you going to do? You know, and again, maybe that will motivate once it gets to the point where it's like, well, you know, your AR pistol's got to be turned in by January 1st or you're going to go to prison. That's,
well,
I mean,
and that's what he keeps
shows up on your doorstep. I think that's really going to.
He's talking to a lot of people at work and around at gun ranges even that they're like, what's the big deal? You know, it's just a bump stock. Who flipping cares? And he's like, yeah, well, you say that now, but what happens when they come to take your AR from your house?
What, you know,
we're going down.
If you are not willing to stand for your rights, what are you teaching your children about the courage of your own convictions?
Well, you can stand for them, but you're going to have to do it from behind a jail cell. That's the problem. I mean,
if you're also not willing to teach your children that sometimes being a man means following the law and doing the right thing, even though it's
following the law or being under tyranny,
there's a fine line, and I can see both sides of it. But at the end of the day, you know, I think about that scene in The Patriot with Mel Gibson where he says, I'm a parent. I haven't got the luxury of principles. You know, that kind of drives it home a little bit. Just talking to somebody that I know that, yeah, I had never thought about it from that perspective before. And Tony's right, too.
Well, that's like I was just saying about the whole Pittsburgh thing. That's something that people will have to choose to do. If I am able to go, I will probably go. But if anybody's going to show up for that, you're technically can be arrested when you're down there. And I don't think it'll be an arrestable offense. It'll be a summary offense. But there's going to be a whole group of us that'll probably get ticketed that day. You know, we're going to have interaction with the police and probably get ticketed. That's my guess.
Ticketed for having bump stocks on your rifles?
No. This is they're actually trying to pass like a semi-auto ban.
Oh, okay.
So
in the city.
I have a question. Is if you guys do the right thing, is it still the right thing if that law is the wrong thing?
Oh, that's always the question.
Here's the thing, though. The state law says we have a preemption law in the state. They basically cannot pass anything over and above what state law says, according to state law. they're willfully violating that. So there's lawsuits in there for, official oppression and stuff like that. But when it comes right down to it, if they pass it, they could actually pass it. And if none of those lawsuits go through, it can stay on the books. If they don't enforce it, it's just on the books until they get the preemption law repealed. So what the goal is to try and force their hand into writing a citation, because you can't challenge a law like that here unless you have standing, like you can prove you were harmed by that law. So if they arrest you or cite you, then you can challenge it in court. So sometimes that's the way it has to be done. It's been done before in this state. It's just that's the only way to get it into a courtroom would be to actually get cited or arrested for carrying a rifle in the city of Pittsburgh and get standing in order to sue to get the law to go up through the court system.
Midnight Range has a good point. He goes, I believe the government banks on the fact that so many of us are paycheck to paycheck and couldn't afford to get in trouble, so we just go along with the laws. I mean, look at our tax stamps. Those were designed to keep guns unaffordable for the average citizen. Suppressor tax stamp. The fees and the costs. I had to pay $200 total to get certified to get my license, all right, to carry my firearm concealed in the state of Nebraska. $200. I mean, there's a lot of people that won't get that, even though you've got a right to bear arms. You want to bear it concealed, it's going to cost you. You got to pay for that background check. You got to pay for the 8-hour class. You got to go through jump through the hoops. So I mean, that's exactly. And I would say it's a government. I would say there are representatives that know that they can keep that out of the hands of the average person if you price it out of their hands. Look at ammo taxes. Look at background checks to buy ammo that I don't know if people have to go through that, or if you do, like you have to run it through whatever system and pay a fee for it, just to get ammo. That kind of thing does keep it out of it's definitely a financial issue. It's definitely a financial discrimination is what it is.
The whole court thing, like this, if you have to go to court and fight being arrested under an illegal law, it's going to go up through the local court and the state Supreme Court, possibly up through federal court. You have to pay a lawyer for that whole time. So as a group, it's a little bit easier if we do it, because you can pull together and do a class action and get one lawyer to represent everybody. But on an individual basis, if you were to challenge something like that and go get cited for it and do it yourself up through the courts, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars just in lawyer fees. And their city governments, it's been done in Philadelphia before, they'll drag it out for years and make you pay lawyers' fees for years till you just give up and go away, because they're spending tax money to do it. They don't care.
And here's my question. Where are the pro-gun organizations? And I'm calling them all out. Where's the pro-gun organizations to defend these citizens? Why isn't there not an NRA lawyer representing that person that has a legitimate argument? Where's the GOA representing the individual citizen too?
There's no money there.
But let's take it broader. And I've said this for years now. Why isn't there an NRA or any other pro-gun organization with lobbyists representing every single state and every single Capitol building every single day? That's there to dispel the myths and fight against any kind of restrictions on our laws and rights. I mean, we're the bigger spectrum. Why aren't they there too? That's my money. I want it coming back to defend my rights. Where's that?
The NRA has a person in Lincoln, just a couple blocks from the Capitol, but that person didn't bother to come on down for the red flag law or any of the other hearings a couple weeks ago in Lincoln.
Where was that person when Lincoln passed a bump stock ban a year ago? Where was that guy there to back it up with statistics and to filibuster their vote and to say this is unconstitutional, or they're to say this is ridiculous, you're not going to fix anything, or why weren't they immediately going live on YouTube and raising awareness about what the state was trying to pass? That's all I'm going to say. It's frustrating, again, as somebody that tries to support these organizations. And I'm not saying don't support them. They need our support. You choose which one you want. But there could be a lot more that could be done for the individual that wants to defend their rights. Because I'm sure legal fees are really cheap if you want to fight any of these things, right?
Well, it goes back to what we all know. I mean, when adversity strikes, you find out who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Well, when adversity strikes in your state capital or in the nation's capital, you find out who your friends are there too. So just take note and support the organizations that are going to help support us back.
Now, Constitutional Republican is saying that, what was it? You had mentioned that Illinois just ruled on the pay to have rights in favor of us. I was wondering if you can expand on that a little bit, Constitutional Republican, so I can get some more information out of you. They're having a good
The
discussion.
Floyd thing.
The what?
They just
Oh,
ruled that the Floyd thing was unconstitutional.
oh, now it's going to the state Supreme Court. So if they rule it down, that's going to Nixon. It's going to knock it out altogether. Or is there going to be an appeal to the federal court? Is this going to be another 6 months of litigation before we get an answer out of it, or not?
I
Ozzy
don't know what's
just,
gonna
you know,
go on.
posted that
The federal court
Illinois,
can't
you know,
rule
Floyd
on
card's been unconstitutional and it's going to the state Supreme Court. So
Okay.
if the state Supreme Court rules on it, though. Is there anywhere to go? I mean, no matter which way they rule, does the federal court have any grounds to rule on a state court decision like that? State laws? I don't know how that works.
Feel it.
Okay.
I don't know. Hopefully take it a little bit further. So, all right. Oh, man.
Honestly, it worries me because our Floyd and our concealed carry are tied together.
Somebody got a clock ticking in the background there? It sounds like a metronome or something. Is there?
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Oh, no, it's all good. I'm just like, are you the guy going down the interstate with your blinker on the whole time, even though you already merged?
I'm at a red light right now. Turn
Oh,
signal.
it's all good. All right. I'm just like, am I hearing something? I thought I was losing my mind there. So it's all good. No,
Waiting for the
use your
piano to
signal.
play.
Use your signal.
Actually, I'm a couple blocks from where Midnight works here. So if he could come out with a thing of waffles for me, that would be awesome right
just
now.
pull up
I'm
real
sitting
quick.
in traffic
Yeah,
here.
Do you have time to just pull off and like go in there and just don't even ask, just walk into the kitchen with your camera on?
Just go live. But I want to speak to the chef right now.
I have actually been to Midnight's Waffle House before.
Nice. Oh, so he's graduated a Waffle House chef now, up from IHOP, huh? That's awesome.
Yes.
Hey, joining us from the land of Kansas, the land of Oz, Gizzard Gary's in the house. Gary, what's new in your world, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome.
Hey, thanks, and thanks for the invite to your last morning show. Doing fine here. How about you?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm not awake, but I'm doing good. It's been a long week, brother. So hey, what's new on the channel, man? What's coming up?
Well, we had Foul Territory last night. We had a good show, and then tomorrow morning we will do the early bird chat. That will be 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central.
Okay.
And so far, that's all we got scheduled.
Okay. How's that Taurus TX22 running for you? Is she improving a little bit or not? Been a little more stable?
Yeah, it improved the last time I took it to the range with it, so I think we're working stuff out.
So you're saying if I buy it, I just need to take a brick of 525 rounds with me and just burn through the whole thing before I decide to make a judgment on it?
I think I would, but I'm looking at stuff out on the internet, and I seem to be an outlier.
You know, and maybe it was an early production issue. Hey, when I got my Ruger American Ranch rifle, it had a rough action. The machining was poor inside the receiver. I mean, it's smoothed out now that I put a couple hundred rounds through it. But, you know, sometimes it's just early run. You got one of the first ones, you know.
You ain't limp wristing it, are you?
I've been accused of it, yeah.
Now, if you watch Gary's channel, guys, he's doing a definitive, thorough test on that TX22. So, and you've tried multiple brands of ammunition, right?
Oh, at least half a dozen kinds, yeah.
Okay, what have you had the best luck with for anybody that wants to buy this gun? CCI?
CCI in the end, yeah.
Mini mags or
mini mags? Yeah.
Now, are those the ones that have the wax coating on the bullet? Or is that the Stingers? That's the Stingers, isn't it?
These are the hollow points, so they're...
Because there's a CCI that anytime I run it through my Jimenez JA22, you get a buildup on the feed ramps because it rubs off the wax every time it chambers around.
I don't remember whether the CCIs do or not. I know...
Oh, it's not every CCI round that has it. It's just the ones that, yeah.
I know for a fact the Remington 22 Thunderbolts have a bunch of it on there.
Okay. Hey, real quick, we do have a super chat. Dan Demand Garcia said, "Thanks, Travis. I'll start to Twitch with the ticking." Sorry about that. Yeah, we don't want to light up anybody and have any kind of a volatile reaction. And if somebody gets triggered physically from...
My bad. I didn't need to set off anybody's epilepsy or anything like that. Yeah. I forgot I was unmuted, to tell you the truth.
All right. Hey, SS Pond is joining in today. He said that the gun is on the cover of Guns and Ammo. Yeah, the Taurus guns have been making a lot of cover appearances lately. They had the G2C on not too long ago. SS Pond says, it's Stan, guys. I have a buddy that just bought one. I'll give you an update later. And he's just saying hi to everybody. Philo says the wax is usually for target loads. Okay, this is good. SS Pond, a buddy. Is his name Travis? No, I did not buy one. I spent my money on the 300 Blackout pistol you see sitting behind me. So that's where all my money went. That's why I don't have a TX22, because it's sitting right there. So, yeah.
When you're saving some for that high point.
Yes. Yeah, well, we got a long time before that comes out. They're saying fourth quarter of 2019, so we're probably looking at October, November, December before it comes out, but I'll be in line to buy one of those, definitely.
Yeah.
Where's I going? Real quick, if you guys are just joining us, Caliber Corner will be switching to Thursday evenings from 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 East Coast Time. That slot's open, which means Saturday mornings is now going to be open. So I'm expecting somebody from this panel to jump up and snatch my time slot. So I can guarantee you at least 30 or 40 views per episode if you take it. It's an awesome time slot. Everybody should do it. Tony, you're gonna start going live at 8 a.m. on Saturdays or what?
I've been discussing that with Rick, but he ain't too favorable on the idea.
All right. No, I was kidding, dude. I had no idea. I was just picking you randomly.
Can I just do like an hour of my turn signal ticking?
Yeah. Do that. You can use it as a metronome to play along with your piano. You know, 4/4 time. You know, just live streaming the clicker. You know, just that's it. Every single Saturday, just come relax and listen to the sound of the clicking. So, and then wonder what happened to Travis P11. So, yeah, guys, Thursdays, and like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on the weekends here indefinitely. So we are moving to an evening time slot. But oh man, so man, we've already covered a lot of good topics. Anything else on the rallies? Anything else you guys want to say? Just make sure you're active. Make sure you are writing your representatives. Again, shout out to Yankee for making a very motivational video. Really getting people to realize that being lazy is not going to win the fight. But if we hear of any rallies coming up in Nebraska, we'll let people know. Gary, are there any Kansas rallies planned anytime soon or not?
I haven't heard of any, if there are. Let's put it that way.
Now, again, I don't want to criticize Kansas, but didn't you go live and there was one other person that was there?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
That was before constitutional carry was passed in your state?
No.
So is that why we didn't have a lot of people at your rally? Because everybody's got what they want?
I've always said that about Kansas. That's why it's so hard to get them interested, because they've got more rights than most people do.
And so it's like, oh, I'm already cozy. I don't have to worry about it. Just like a lot of people getting kind of lazy when Trump got into office and we saw gun sales slump after he got into office. We had record gun sales going into the election. And then after that, people weren't buying anything. Maybe we had a purchase hangover. Maybe we had the credit card bills we had to pay off. But gun sales just, you start seeing yeah.
It's a shame, though.
Everybody they hit their freaking max limit on the credit cards thinking Hillary was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I was buying guns and ammo like it was going. I think I bought 20 guns in 1 year. I'm not kidding you. Over 12 months, 12 or that's probably at least a dozen, and then thousands of rounds of ammo. I'm like, well, I better get my ammo now before it,
Yeah, that's right. I think the talking about the people are just too comfortable in states that already have the rights. If you look at the rallies that NEA helped kind of kickstart, a lot of the states that have minimal rights had good turnout, while the states that have better rights didn't. I think a lot of it because people have, the ones who have it, or at least are happy with what they have, don't have the motivation, versus the ones who are still trying to get it are a little more motivated.
The one that was in Illinois had 3 of us, me, Dano, and Ozzy.
Okay, well, sorry. Exceptions to the rule, my bad.
Now, we had our iGold this year, and there was over 8,000 people there. But that's an annual event.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see here. The mech says, well, Calaveras up here in Nebraska, all the boxes say Stinger. I think 22 Plinkster is down south, and maybe they say Stanger down there. Patrick's saying somebody needs to take the Saturday morning time slot because it keeps them entertained at work. So Patrick, on just instead of watching the Thursday show live, just go back and watch it on Saturday morning, and you can catch up with us if you want to.
I can do it. It'll be the Kalash corner now.
So he says, I wish I could buy 20 guns a year. With me, I'm going to be honest with you. With us not having children, it does free up some resources for us. And my allowance, I basically spend my I'll save up for a couple months and then I'll buy a firearm. Was able to use some of the Patreon funds that I hadn't cashed in on for a while to buy a few guns. And I did videos on that too. So that definitely helped out a lot. So I don't know. Anything else on the rallies, guys? Anything else you want to say before we move on? We're good to go. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and show off my new toy. I've got a couple videos coming up on this. So you guys are getting an exclusive. I went ahead and for the last, year, I've been trying to figure out what to go with for a firearm. So I went ahead and purchased a PSA lower. Okay, we got the PA-15 multi-cal lower. This was $129 with the Magpul MOE grip and the trigger guard. And we are clear, by the way, as you guys can tell. But anyway, so I got $129 for the pistol lower. This was $4 on eBay, the little buffer tube cover, which it was actually 3 inches longer, but I could not get it to go, so I ended up having to snip it off. And then the upper, I got a video coming out on this too. This is the Bear Creek Arsenal 10.5-inch upper. It's a 4150 heavy barrel, 300 Blackout upper, complete upper, delivered for $194. Now, it did have a different handguard in the ad. I wish I would have got the handguard that was on there. This is going to make it really hard to mount a can on here.
Why heavy barrel? I'm just curious.
I have no idea. Just, maybe they call every barrel a heavy barrel. I don't know. It's not a pencil barrel, I can tell you that. It does have the pistol link gas system to it, obviously, since it's 300 Blackout. $200 delivered. They're $204 when they're not on sale. And I used the 704 tactical discount code, and I got 5% off and free shipping, which saved me $20. And so the only reason why I didn't go PSA, and I mentioned this in my video, PSA, I honestly didn't really want the slant handguard, but the one that PSA had, I was reading the reviews, and old reviews and new reviews, and PSA's addressed the comments to people that leave their feedback. They were complaining, saying the handguard's been pulling off while shooting it at the range. It's been coming off, and they can't keep it on even with thread locking compound. I don't know anything about how these mount, so maybe Dead Horse can chime in. Why people have problems with these coming off. I don't know if it's because the screws come loose or what
exactly.
Is that what is going on with this? Is this kind of a universal mount where I could put a different one on here if I want to?
There are a couple that will fit that barrel nut, yeah.
Okay, because I'd like to go with the shorter handguard, maybe go with the 9-inch so I can clear the thread so I can put a can on the front.
That for the Bear Creek Arsenal handguards, that actually I think is the nicer one, honestly.
Okay. And I'll tell you right
that's the best one.
Bear Creek, yeah.
But those screws do walk out all the time. Chances are they're not Loctited at all from Bear Creek.
Okay.
If you pull them out, so that's super common. And then they lose them out there, and then they have trouble finding a replacement. And yeah, so you want to, Loctite those right away on those handguards, and that's super common for a lot of different handguards from a lot of different companies.
Okay, I will take one out and see if I can see any thread locking on and any dry thread locking compound. So here's the other side.
I honestly suggest that if you do end up having to re-thread lock it, there's a compound that I use at work. It's called Threadmate VC3.
Okay.
It's like this red kind of very viscous liquid that basically when you basically paint it on to the threads, you let it sit for like 10 minutes, and then when you go to thread it in, it should thread in pretty tight. And then once it dries and cures fully, you can unscrew it, no problems, but it will, it's an anti-vibration compound, so it stays. Like really.
I've never had problems with Loctite blue, though. I mean, I know I could go Loctite red if I need to, but the blue seems to be pretty decent, too.
The only thing with the blue is if you get too much on, like where the head of the screw is, it could be a real bear to like unthread. Whereas this VC3 stuff, just as soon as it you go to unscrew it, it just kind of breaks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it will, if you have to rethread it without thread locking it, it will it'll maintain its anti-vibration properties.
Gotcha. I will definitely have to look into that because I've had it. I'm with my Radical Firearms AR-15. I had to use the thread locking compound on it also. I'm trying to do a screen share and it's not letting me use it. So I went to the Bear Creek Arsenal website. And like I said, the only reason why I didn't go PSA is the one they had for $249 did not have the handguard that I wanted. And then they had the $400 pistol kit. That one didn't have it either. Or no. The one that I wanted for $249, the complete upper the PSA had, did not come with what's the deal? Oh no, it wasn't in stock. I've been waiting weeks for it to come back in. Anytime it would come back in, I couldn't get to it in time to buy it. So that's why I decided to go Bear Creek. Now the rifle, the AR you see behind me is a Bear Creek. My stepdad has the exact same AR. He also has another upper that he bought from them with an 18-inch, kind of the fancy spiral stainless steel barrel. no problems with that either. They've both held up really well for him. But I've got several PSA rifles, and I'm not opposed to it. But if you want one of the least expensive uppers out there, now I'm looking at their website. Unfortunately, it's not letting me screen share for some stupid reason. But I don't know if I'm having an issue with my browser or what the problem is. But maybe it just needs to load for a second. Anyway, looking at the Bear Creek website, and I ordered direct. You can get this in a 16-inch 1-8 twist for $199, and that's also with an M-LOK handguard on it. This one, mine was $204.99. Before I use the discount codes and stuff. It's 4150 chrome olive vanadium steel, 10.5-inch barrel. You can also get it with different types of rail options. I mean, they make several different uppers. And so Dead Horse, tell me about your experiences with Bear Creek Arsenal. What were some of the trials and tribulations you've had with their products?
The very first thing I ever bought from them was a bolt carrier group, and I was really let down. It had a hairline crack in it right from the manufacturer that missed quality control, and so that made me really skeptical about them, right? And plus, they're a budget manufacturer, but I kept hearing good things, so I gave them another shot, and that was a huge success. And I gave them another shot, and now I have 4 different uppers from them, and all sorts of different calibers, like 458 SOCOM and.
Yeah, they do 6.5 Grendel. They do 7.62 by 39. They do 5.56 300 Blackout.
Yeah.
Do they do a 9mm? I'm looking at. Let me check out their filtering by cal. So 224 Valkyrie.
They do Glock barrels. Barrels, and I've heard really good things actually about their Glock barrels.
And they are cheap. Their Glock barrels are they're
on sale right now for right around $40 to $45, depending on what model of Glock you want.
Okay.
And with free shipping on your entire order as long as you buy a barrel.
Man, I'm looking at this. I'm kicking myself right now. They have a complete with flip up sights. That's a 5.56 with an M-LOK rail pistol for $379 with the sights already on it. I mean, like I said, if without the sights on this one, it was $329 is all I paid for what you see right here, short of the sights, which are the new UTG low profile flip up metal sights. And then, $4 for this. I'll talk about the magazine here in a little bit. So Dead Horse, did you contact them about getting a replacement? How was customer service?
No, I bought the BCA bolt carrier group from Primary Arms.
Okay.
So, and I hadn't had an issue with Primary Arms before, so I decided to test Primary Arms customer service out.
Yeah.
And they took care of me, and they had a new one to me in like 3 days.
Speaking of which, that's who I got my 300 Blackout magazines from. I got a sweet little target for doing one MOA adjustments in the box, and I got a thank you. They give you a little thank you card in there too. These guys are freaking awesome. Not to mention the fact
that Target.
Oh yeah, you know what? They've got the fastest shipping. They are faster than anybody, and maybe it's because they're just straight south of me down in Texas. But I ordered like on what is today? Today's Saturday. I think I ordered on Wednesday and already got the magazines on Saturday. And so they ship the same day. I always get the notifications and stuff, and it just check this out. This was included in the box. Of course, they got an advertisement on the back, but that doesn't matter. So you got your little, and they tell you exactly how to run it. Yeah.
Anything I've ever ordered from Primary Arms has showed up in Pennsylvania in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
And their prices are very, very fair. I've purchased multiple CAC Shockwave stability braces from there. They're usually the cheapest place to go through, and they do have good sales once in a while too, and good deals on. And their shipping is always very fair. For the 2 PMags that I bought, I didn't feel like doing the round trip to Cabela's, the 80-mile round trip. I think I paid $25 delivered for both of my PMags. They're $11.15, and I think I paid like $3.90 shipping for 2 magazines. It was super cheap. And I can get PMags locally at SS Pawn. I can get 5.56, but not the 300 Blackout mags, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, because you could get behind a 5.56 mag.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. I didn't think there was a difference.
Well, you can use your we can just go into it right now. You can use your 5.56 mags if you want to, but you got to make sure that you don't mix them up when you're using them. Obviously, we all know that. These are the Magpul 300 Blackout magazines, and they have a different texturing for one thing. So visually, they look different. You're gonna be like, oh, that's not the right one. It does say 300 BLK down here. They also have a different. I've got a standard. This is just the 10 rounder, but looking at the front here, they claim that the front geometry of the magazine is, I think, a little bit wider, just a little tiny. This is the 300 Blackout on this side. And so
it's missing a rib. If you look down in there, it's missing a rib on the front there. There's kind of a rib that runs down the front of that PMag down inside.
Oh, okay.
Missing that rib to allow longer projectiles.
Because of the different bullet design options that you have for the black.
If you're running big 220 or 240 grain subs, those mags are really, really good for that.
And they're not, I mean, the retail on them is $15.95, but I got these through Primary for $11.15 each. So it's not like you're going to pay a premium. You might say, well, I'll just use my 5.56 mags. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I want to start a collection of these now too. And they're the Gen M3s. And like I said before, I've had excellent service with Magpul and actually wore out a Gen M2. They took care of me. It is marked 762 by 35. You know, you can always just use the little rubber bands around your 300 Blackout mags too if you want to. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think they claim that the springs might be beefed up ever so slightly to handle the heavier, just round or projectile or whatnot. That it's designed to be able to handle a little more bulk and just ensure more reliable feeding. So, but yeah, they do make a standalone. This is what they look like when they come in the package, and they've been out for maybe a year or two. So yeah.
Hey Travis.
Yo,
you're moving soon, right?
I'm not moving for a year, but the wife is moving this week. Yeah.
You realize that everything that you acquire is just one more thing you got to pack up and move.
Tony, this is a load I'm happy to take with me. I just want to say that right now. So I'm cool with that.
Okay.
We're moving a lot of stuff out of the house. We've already moved out some big items. I got a lot of furniture coming up for sale. It's basically going to be a shell, except for the man cave. And I'll take a weekend off to do this. That's one of the reasons why I'm waiting a year for me to move is for one thing, I got to find another teaching job. But two, we just got unpacked in our house. We've only been here for about 2 years, just a little over 2 years right now. Now we got to turn around and get rid of everything and look for another place to live, which could be an apartment, could be a house. So we're getting the big stuff out, but I don't have. I mean, I guess
you're not moving this time, just one Cherokee load at a time.
Dude, I'll tell you what. We moved 4 blocks into this current house, and I must have done 100 loads. My Cherokee, I basically left the back hatch open on it like all day, and I would just throw boxes in the back, drive down to the street, unload them, turn around, and go back down the street again. You know the little Jeep Cherokee. When you take the spare tire out and you put the back seats down, you've got like the hauling capacity of an S10, a little Chevy S10 pickup. You can haul quite a bit. I brought everything over here except for the couch and the chair from our little 2-bedroom apartment that we were living in. I got the dining room table in there. I was throwing stuff up on top. That was the only thing I had to use the trailer for was the couch because it's just too bulky to fit it in the car. So yeah, that little Cherokee, man, they work as a great pickup truck, you know?
Mental image you talking about that is Beverly Hillbillies driving into their
yeah, I had everything strapped on the top with bungee cables and stuff coming over here. I used milk boxes. The grocery stores here get these 8-gallon boxes that are heavy with handles on them, but they stack, man, like Jenga blocks, man. You can like throw everything together. So I was able to maximize my hauling capacity. And we really didn't, because the house purchase happened, we found out about the house and became homeowners within 2 months. We didn't have a lot of time to get rid of stuff or go through things because we had stuff that was packed in storage. We had stuff in the closets. We just brought everything over here. So we've been slowly going through things. Why are we talking about this? I don't even know. You started talking about my Jeep and then you got me excited. So I don't know. But yeah.
You mentioned those rubber bands on your 300 Blackout, and you can buy those like specific rubber bands.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just go to Walmart or any craft store and buy like a wide kind of rubber band and just use like, permanent marker on it and mark your own like super cheap.
Yeah, you can stretch it on and just get a Sharpie and write 300 BLK on there. Just put 300 on there. That'd be the economical way to do it. Yeah, otherwise, they're a couple bucks a pop. Yeah, so let me ask. Go ahead.
Oh no, go right ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, is there? So I mean, I know about I understand the ballistics of the 300 Blackout, but is there any reason for me to shoot subsonic if I'm not running a can?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Heavier projectile, but energy-wise, I mean, we're talking lethality.
Oh
Would
yeah.
I want to start off running subsonic? Would you recommend subsonic or what?
If you're, maybe for a self-defense purpose, shooting indoors, stuff like that, yeah, definitely. And it's still, I'm not sure out of a 10.5-inch barrel, but out of a 16-inch barrel, its subsonics are still way quieter without a can than supers. I mean, it sounds like maybe like a 22 mag. It really does.
Okay. And I've heard energy-wise, I've heard it's kind of the equivalent of a 45, like a 45 plus P in terms of energy. I really haven't sat down to compare ballistics because I thought about going with the pistol caliber carbine. I thought about going with the 9 or 45 or getting like a high point 10 millimeter,
I know a 9-inch 300 Blackout shooting a subsonic round at 300 yards hits with the same energy as a 5.56 out of a 16-inch barrel at 300 yards. So at 300 yards, those are both the same, but you're in a 9-inch package, right?
Yeah. No, this is a 10.5-inch barrel.
Well, I know it's a 10, so you're going to be a little bit above that, but they're basically going to be right on par. I mean,
yeah. There won't be a whole, and I didn't want to go 8.5-inch because I didn't want to lose too much energy and velocity. I think you lose about 300 feet per second on a standard round when you're going with the 8.5-inch barrel versus the 10.5-inch. That's the only reason why. So,
and if you do, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say with Travis, that's your intended purpose for the 300 Blackout. What's your intended purpose?
I wanted a compact, inexpensive travel rifle that I can take with me on all these road trips I got coming up now. This is actually about 5 inches shorter with a collapsed stock than my AR sitting behind me. I wanted something inexpensive. I wanted to play around with 300 Blackout. It's a new caliber for me. The price was right. I'm honestly would be looking more, again, home defense. This is going to take the place of one of my pistols that's going to be going with my wife. So this is actually going to be this is going to be my basement defense gun, I guess you could say. And I would like to get a suppressor at some point. Now, granted, I'll probably have to get a different handguard on here, maybe get a 9-inch on here instead. So I'm looking at, I mean, you never know what you're going to run into, what kind of a target you're going to have to engage, but I would definitely be talking 50 yards or less. You could say, think of it as a truck gun. You could think of it as a home defense gun.
Well,
Sandhills. Yeah.
Okay. I would not underestimate. A lot of people think that just because they have a 9-inch or a 10-inch 300 Blackout that, that it might be limited on range to 50 yards, but realistically, you're good, especially with supersonic ammunition out to 300 easily, even with that 10.5-inch barrel. They're surprisingly. The difference between I'm not sure about the 10.5-inch numbers, but I know the difference between a 9-inch and a 16-inch and that 300 Blackout's only 150 feet per second for supers.
Well, it's because you're using the pistol black powder, the gunpowder's pistol grade, so it's going to burn faster, right? Is that the idea? Yeah. You don't have to have that barrel link to expel all the powder.
And thank you for clarifying that for me there, Dead Horse. That's why I was asking his intended purpose, because that's where, if he's looking at across a room, home defense, I would think a sub might be a better option versus if you're looking at the truck gun where you might have to reach out to 100, 150. The super might be, or you might even have like 2 magazines. That's your one you slap in it at night for when you're as your bedside gun. Then another one that, I'm going to go be in the truck today. You slap the supers in it or something. So that way you've got a little more reach. But I was just trying to figure out what your intended purpose was. So
I wanted inexpensive but reliable, good takedown power, something where, granted, and I didn't want to go the 5.56 round because, in my opinion, you lose a lot of velocity and energy. And Dead Horse, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think the 10.5 versus a 14.5 or 16.5-inch 5.56 option, I didn't like. And another thing, I'm not a big fan of the muzzle flash coming out of the 10.5-inch. Pistol.
Exactly right.
It is
indoors or in a vehicle. It's not pleasant at all.
And I don't know if Squib remembers this. When we would shoot it, it was like having a camera flash go off in front of your face every time you pulled the trigger. And I was, when you're running clear iPro, it's really annoying. And I know I'm just a whiny little whatever, but it is frustrating, especially if you want to do extended shooting sessions. It just it would flash in front of your eyes and that was my 10.5-inch pistol upper. Not that it isn't going to work if you needed to. Not that you shouldn't have one. You should. But I was just I just don't want to go the pistol caliber upper or not. I didn't want to go 5.56, 10.5-inch upper again. So I thought I'd just go ahead and try the 300. And like I said, there's really no price difference on the Bear Creek website between the 300 or the 5.56, maybe $10. And if I was going to go 458 SOCOM, but they're a little more expensive. I want to say they're maybe a $300 upper if you go 458 SOCOM, or I don't know if they do a 450 Bushmaster, but I said,
they got a 450 Bushmaster, 50 Beowulf, 458 SOCOM. Yep.
And again, I'm not opposed to going the PSA route. I know we have a lot of PSA diehards, but I've had good luck with Bear Creek before. I got a lifetime guarantee with it. Not that I want to have to use it, mind you, but I'm glad you joined in because I wanted to ask you about your experiences, because what I had heard is that you didn't have a positive viewpoint of the company, and I'm glad you clarified that for me. And I wasn't going to mention you, but I'm like,
that's why I don't like to necessarily just go off of one example, because I know every company, I don't care who it is, they all have had a bad day, and I've put out something crappy or broken at some point sometimes. So You know, that's
Yeah.
why I like I need more than just one example. So I don't, you know,
Yeah.
once I have like usually I kind of have a 3 strikes you're out rule with a company.
Mhm.
So once they do me wrong 3 times, it's just like, you know, no more. But no, Bear Creek has just done me nothing but right ever since then, and everything I bought from them has just been surprised, like way better than what I was expecting. Like they have exceeded my expectations.
And you and I had a
For what I
discussion before
paid.
the chat started. We talked about Radical Firearms. I had bad luck with my Radical pistol upper, which was running a Bear Creek bolt carrier group with a no. It was a PSA bolt carrier group. It was a Anderson lower. Yes, Anderson lower. PSA bolt carrier group and a Radical upper, and I couldn't get through a mag without having jams. You know, so I mean, and I didn't totally want to ride. I thought about going Radical because they're one of the few other companies that makes a complete upper for $200. Well, I don't know if there's included a bull carrier group or not. I think I paid $249 for that. So you know, you can, if you look around, you can get some good deals, but you might think, oh man, it's absolute crap. It's the bottom of the bin for the price, so it's got to be garbage, you know. And that's not always the situation.
Companies, when you look at companies like Radical and how many people who actually buy their products, they sell a lot more than like some of the smaller online retailers and stuff like that. So I actually feel more comfortable buying from a company like Bear Creek, Palmetto State, Radical, that has a certain presence. They've got into a certain level. And even though, yeah, I do run into the occasional bad review and all that, I don't necessarily take that as like, oh, all their stuff's bad, right?
You know, the main
You got to look
complaints.
at the volume of how much they're selling, and those
Yeah.
3 companies I just named, they're probably 3 of the top dogs. They sell a lot of stuff, so of course, the more you sell, the more chances that people are going to have an issue, right? That's just the way it is.
And from a transparency perspective, both Bear Creek Arsenal and PSA leave the 1-star reviews up on their reviews. They'll leave it up there,
Yeah.
and Radical does also. Optics Planet does too. So I do respect that they don't. They may delete views. They might delete reviews that are found to be fake. You know, because there's a lot of that going on. But if you've got an overwhelming majority of a bunch of different people and they're verified purchasers that are saying, you know, I had a problem with this, they do address in the comments section. They do respond back to those people and said, hey, give us a call. We want to figure out what the problem is. Only real complaints I see people complaining about on the Bear Creek, and I was a little disappointed with the staking of the bolts on the gas key. It seemed a little light, but I also noticed that on my other one, but I've never had a problem with it before. Because I know some people complain about having a loose gas key after so many rounds, and they've had to contact them to get that fixed, or they couldn't fix it themselves or whatever. Did you ever notice that at all on yours, your bulk carrier groups or uppers? Any problems with the? Yeah.
I would call their staking job, I would call barely acceptable.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like it's you don't really have to worry about it, but if you have a punch, I would go ahead and probably stake it yourself a little bit better.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not a bad staking job, but it's not
Yeah.
what I would call like, you know, desirable.
Yeah. And hey, I'm looking over on the Bear Creek website right now, and like I said, I bought this out of my own pocket. This wasn't sent to me at all. You can get a standard handguard, 450 Bushmaster, 16-inch upper complete for $249, and their shipping is $10, by the way. You can get it with the M-Lock handguard like you see on mine for $259. Oh, that's a 10.5-inch barrel for $259. 18-inch 450 Bushmaster for $267 with an M-Lock handguard complete. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
My first 458 SOCOM upper, Radical Firearms upper, they were one of the first companies that were making an affordable 458 SOCOM upper. So I paid, I think I paid like $450 for that at Primary Arms on sale, for that upper, and then I just got a Bear Creek Arsenal 458 SOCOM upper, and I paid, I think $209 or $219 on Supercell with Sean. We both bought one.
Oh yeah, they have some really good deals. Like I said, you might be able to use that 704 tactical discount on other uppers. I didn't try it because I just bought it. I just took the code I watched the video on the 704 channel and looked at the prices and went in and put it in my cart and punched the code, and it gave me free shipping and knocked 5%
We actually
off.
bought ours from a place I think called like Durkin Tactical. But it was
okay.
it was a complete Bear Creek Arsenal upper.
Okay.
But we got it for like $209, cheaper than what it was on the Bear Creek website. And I think even though the Bear Creek Arsenal uppers was less than half the price, I think it's twice the up. Not that the Radical's bad, I just think the Bear Creek's really that much better.
I like the finishes a little bit better too. I think they use a higher quality, like anodized finish. I think Radical might do a lot of maybe just like paint instead of true anodizing. Because when I had mine, I noticed that the finish was kind of thin. It kind of reminded me of my DPMS Oracle, which was a fine rifle, but didn't have the most durable coating on it. Almost like it was like a flat black paint that was on it. And yeah, the 450 Bushmaster and 458 SOCOM uppers from Bear Creek are the exact same price. And Sandhills, I got one for you too. Unfortunately, I'm not able to screen share right now, but they do make a 243 20-inch with a 15-inch M-lock rail. It is a little pricey. It's $385. But if you had any other AR lower sitting around, you know, so it'd be $500 total if you got yourself the same lower that I got, a little over $500. If you got a rifle lower from say PSA, and then you got that 20-inch barreled upper. I mean, that 5-round magazine next fall, deer season. Come on, man.
I'm hearing you.
I don't know if you're going to find a complete 243 AR pattern rifle for $500 anywhere else. I don't think you will. I think you're going to be looking at some of these more high-end boutique manufacturers that do the odd caliber AR-15s, and they're in the thousands. You know, there's that Gorilla company that makes one, and they're sweet, but they're like $1,800 for a 270 or a 243 complete AR.
But a 243 is going to need an AR-10 lower, right?
Good question, man.
Yes, it's based on a 308 case.
I've never had it.
It's okay.
AR-10 or LR-10, pattern lower receiver. Yeah.
So you're looking at probably 179 from PSA. You might be able to find one a little bit cheaper someplace else. So you're looking at a bit more, but it's still going to be under 600. 550 would get you into it. Not
everybody's got a 243 pattern or AR pattern rifle, and I don't know why, because 243 ammo is pretty cheap.
Yeah, it is. Well, it depends on. Well, it's just like anything. You can spend whatever you want on your hunting grade ammunition. You know.
Hey, Travis, about ready to get jealous? Oh, coffee.
Give me some. Did you see BK's got a coffee club you can join now?
I don't know. That was 50 cents for a medium coffee.
It's okay. Well, because they're it's $10 a month for one large coffee per day. From the Burger Kings that actually participate in it. BK coffee's not bad. There was a time when it was, in my opinion, the worst coffee on the planet before they went to the BK Joe. It tasted like instant. It was really, really nasty. It was sour, but now it's not so bad. I think I need to review some. Hey, real quick, let's talk about the sights real quick, right? So again, this is totally untested. I don't even know if this thing is going to run, but these are the UTG low profile sights that they sell. And I was looking at going with like another cheap pair of sights or just going another pair of, Magpul knockoffs. So you can get the Magpul sights occasionally on PSA for $40 or $50 delivered. But I just like the looks of these guys. They do latch up. They do lock into place. Now, there's play. You got about 1/8 of an inch here of rotation, but they're locked in with a plunger on the other side. And so they do actually lock into place. So they are locked back. You don't have a height adjustment on the rear, but you just push the plunger and they fold back down. And these are probably 3/4 of an inch tall. I really do need to measure it. And on the front, I mean, these were $20 for the front, $20 for the rear. So 40. And again, I've got a little bit of play, but it does lock. But I mean, I've always had play in my front sights. It doesn't matter what you go with. I mean, I had some Midwest Industry sights on my DPMS that were a little more, but if they're going to lock and they keep 0, that's really all I care about. And they're all metal. Black anodized finish. I mean, they're pretty freaking sleek.
They're also backup sights.
I'm not.
They're not a primary sighting system, so I'm okay with that little bit of play. I think those are, for the money, about the best sights made for the money. I really do.
Have you tried these ones or not? Have you had a chance to pick these up yet?
Oh, I have several sets. Yeah.
UTG makes like 4 or 5 different models. I didn't know.
No, yeah, I've had those since they very first come out. I'm actually very familiar with Under the Gun with UTG and their products, and I've actually talked to those guys over there, and so those are really good sights. There for the money, I think they're the best sights out. Yeah,
and they're just the finish on them is good. The hardware is good. They locked right in when I put them on the rail.
They're made in America.
Are these? They are made in the USA. I guess I haven't.
Everything that says Pro on it from UTG is made in America.
Now I got to go back and fix my video because I didn't put that in the review. I didn't even because I'm so used to everything coming from China.
Yeah,
I mean,
just remember if it says from UTG, if it says Pro on it, then it's USA made.
Do you have
UTG stuff that's American made right here in Michigan? I think it is.
Sweet,
Leapers,
man.
yeah, they're Leapers Factory. A lot of their
Oh, is that okay? That's the
Yeah,
manufacturer for that.
Leapers are same company.
Yeah, because it says Leapers USA on a lot of their packaging and stuff. So now, Dead Horse, what can you tell me about this flash hider? They call like an S2 or something. Is this is what came on it? It was advertised, as having a different handguard. It was more of like a barrel style, without all the skeletonization on it, and it was the standard A2 front flash hider is what it was supposed to come with. So, what's your take on that? Do you have any experience with this guy at all?
I don't, and I think that's just their own little version to have their own thing,
Okay.
And I'm sure it works. I'm sure it does somewhat of its job, right? And
yeah. I mean,
I don't necessarily like the looks of it personally.
Okay.
But, but I think it looks kind of heavy. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell on the camera, but to me, it looks kind of real heavy and kind of bulky, and I don't know.
It's thick, and maybe I'll give me an excuse to try something a little bit different. Because, like I said, I'd like to put a shorter handguard anyway, and at that point, I could swap out the flash hider. Maybe look at going with the can.
One piece of advice I'll give you on that, which you might not be used to with a 5.56, is since that has a pistol length gas system, especially if you're running subs and a suppressor, but even with just running supers and no suppressor, you're going to get dirty faster, especially in your magazines. And then you're going to have, like, a lot of people don't pay attention to how dirty their magazines get, but especially with like the supers in those PMags, you can run into some issues just from being so dirty. So just keep that in mind. My mags just seem to get really horrendous with my 300.
Okay, is that all ammunition across the board that you run into with that? It's pretty much everything. Okay,
it's the pistol length gas system, and like I said, especially if you run suppressed.
Okay,
but
I gotcha.
Pistol length gas system. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, I think.
So I got another question for you. Have you ever tried the Arms Core 300 Blackout, or should I stay away from it?
You
ever tried it?
I have never tried it, but I just kind of stay away from like most arms.
We've ran it. It runs fine.
In 300 Blackout, though.
In 300. Yeah, we've run 300 Blackout in the 16-inch carbine, and it runs fine.
Okay, yeah, because it's only $7.99 a box for a box of 20, which is some of the least. I think it was $7.99 when it looked on AmmoSeek. That's unbelievably cheap, man.
We've run the Arms Core and the Cellular and Below.
Yeah.
And the Cellular and Below, we ran, I think, both subsonic and supersonic. The Arms Core, I can't remember if that was subsonic or not. Didn't have any issues.
It's not subsonic because it's a very light. It's like 110 grain or something. It's really, really lightweight. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was inexpensive. Plus, I was trying to get some brass for reloading, so figured why not. So we've run a couple different brands through. Now, my son's AR and 300 Blackout, it's a 16-inch carbine, and it's all Anderson. So, it's a different brand, but yeah, we haven't had any issues with any new ammo or any of the reloads that I've made for it.
Mel the Nut says, "Where's the Mall Ninja Magwell hand grip? I ditched mine on the pistol after testing." Mel, you know what? It was just so. It really was bulky, and so that's why I took it off. I thought about maybe putting it on the AR, but I'm just going to put an angled foregrip on the front of here, or maybe put a vertical foregrip. I don't care about laws that tell me what I can and cannot put on my gun. But no, I'm kidding. Relax.
I thought Mall Ninjas use a C clamp grip.
Proud of you there.
No, that's White Trashicle that uses the C clamp grip.
Yeah, that's true. Travis, you're saying you haven't, tried those UTG metal sights yet? On that?
Not those. I've got the older ones that they made like 5 years ago, the real bulky ones with the big knob on the side, and those have always been solid.
I don't know if you can see that very well. That's this is my rear. The ones that
I don't want to see your rear.
Whoa.
Good your way.
The ones that Dead Horse had suggested to me, and that's where I ran them as I originally threw them on my 20-inch 25-45 upper.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was just function testing the rifle, they were on there for a couple of range sessions, worked fine. I actually picked them up to use as backup sights on an AR-10 build that I've been slowly buying parts for. And right now I'm probably going to hold off until I find out what some of these California laws are going to be. But yeah, they're nice and solid. That's for, of course, those rifle. That caliber doesn't have a lot of recoil, but that's for, zero, no issue or anything like that. That's for, bouncing around the back, in the trunk of the car to get into the range, no problem, whatnot. So I don't
being
see
that they're all metal,
problems.
I mean, not that there couldn't be problems with the casting or with the knobs and stuff, but I haven't seen, they're one of the highest rated ones that are out there on Amazon right now. And I was looking at the lower star reviews and there was not a lot of complaints. So
I've tried every company who makes a set of sights. I think I've tried pretty much every set of sights from a company at least under $200. And especially for the money, for $40 for a pair. I mean, nothing at that price, or even maybe $60-$70 range even compares to the quality of those. I really believe that. I think those are, for the money, are this the best sights.
Well, we know you've tried everything. That's because I think you're single-handedly trying to build a collection that rivals that of the PSA factory.
Pretty much.
PSA sends me, Christmas cards because they love me. So,
well, other than to what you're saying on the price, other than when PSA runs the specials on the Magpul Embus sites, they have those for $49 delivered. When they have them on sale, because otherwise you're looking at like $75-$80 for just a set, depending on, But those are going to be polymer. And again, if you want metal, if you want something that's very well built, it is surprising what you can. And here's a set of American-made all-metal sights for $40. That's pretty freaking remarkable.
I've had problems on a couple different sets of Magpul sights, especially on the rear sights, with that hinge pin walking out of them.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't think Magpul is necessarily infallible, and I think they knew about the issue for a very long time, because you can find a lot of other reports on the internet of that same issue from other people. So it's just not like, and it happened with me on multiple sets, so I know it's a real thing. And so I prefer those UTGs over the plastic Embuses now. I really do. Cool. I not only for looks, but for functionality.
All right. And like I said, after going through their first set and just kind of looking at the reviews and stuff, and because it is frustrating when you spend a lot of money on a set of sights and they don't work, or if you get a cheap set, you're like, oh, these will do the job, and then you take them out and they don't hold zero, or they fall apart, or they're very imprecise when it comes to turning the knobs and levers on them and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they should be good. I'm going to try to get this thing out. God, I don't know when I'm going to go. Maybe this week. I've been waiting for it to dry up out at the range because it's a mud pit with all the melting snow and rain. But I'll try to get it out. Maybe just take it out and just do a quick 20 rounds through and just see what I can do. We'll just do a 50 round side in on it and go from there. So thread locker on the threads for the screws. Should I worry about that at all? Dead horse, should I put some blue Loctite on the threads?
From what I've seen from the handguards that have come from Bear Creek Arsenal, I would pull every screw out of that gun and rethread lock it.
Oh no, I meant just on the sights. Just on the sights.
Oh no, not on the sights, but no, the sights will be fine. But
yeah, I'll take one screw out of the handguard and check and see if there's any thread locker residue on it. If there is, then I'll probably leave it. But if there isn't, then I'll put a dab on each one.
I mean, some of the screws look like they had none at all, and then a couple of the screws look like they had just the tiniest little, like maybe toothpick drop, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I think for how quick and simple and easy it is, I think it's a wise investment just to put some new thread locker on it.
And real quick, maybe you guys can chime in on this one. Melvin Nutt, coincidence, bro. I'm sold on the Romeo 5 red dot, best red dot for the $119 price range. PSA's got them for $119. I'm not going to buy one this month because I just got this, but I was thinking about going with the Romeo 5. It's kind of a nice balance between going with say a Vortex Spark for $200 or going with an El Cheapo, like a TRS 25, which can be fine. Which they're $25, by the way. If you look around online, you can find them cheap, but they're usually $50. So it's kind of a nice kind of in between. And so, brand name, red dot side. Do you guys have any experience with the Romeo 5s at all? Anybody on the panel?
Romeo 4.
Oh, the 4? Has that been good for you?
Yeah, perfect. It's awesome.
So now here's the question. Are those shared at all with anything from Primary Arms or Vortex? Is there any common manufacturer that just slaps a different label on it? Because I've been told that there are some similarities between Vortex and Primary Arms.
Well, and Holosun and SIG, but not all the SIGs are made by Holosun, but a couple of the model of SIG red dots are.
Oh, so the Romeo series actually made by Holosun?
A couple of the models are, not all of them.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't want to buy junk if I'm going to drop $120, and I don't know how SIG services if you have problems on it, but I would like to get something a little bit higher quality than just like these, inexpensive, just kind of no-namers that I pick up. Just a lot of times I buy this stuff just to test it for the channel, and I don't keep it on there. I got a little $15 fake Bushnell red dot that I bought from wish.com that Nice Strike actually has. He's got it on the set me right now, and that thing's been solid. It was $15, but I want to go with something. We're talking about a gun that my life could depend upon at some point. So that's why I want to go with some somewhat quality components on it.
Yeah, that's true. I've never actually shot anything with a red dot. Are they worth giving a try?
Got your robot out there, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Any better now?
Yeah. Go ahead. You were saying that you've never shot anything with a red dot.
Yeah, that's right. I was just asking, is it worth going out and buying one? That's for and just I don't know what I'd even mount it on at this point, but that's for just to give it a try. That's for
if you want quick target acquisition and 1-inch accuracy is not the goal, but say a silhouette target out to 100 yards is. Then I would say the red dot's definitely the way to go. Not that bench, they can be very precise. I mean, I shoot really good groups when I bench my Bear Creek with the Strike Fire 2. I mean, that thing shoots like a charm, man. But yeah, if you want just quick target acquisition, I'm going to be testing out a Glock. I don't remember what model it is. The Glock 40, the G40 with the MOS sight on it, the 10 millimeter. Is it 40? I don't even know, 40 something or another. But the MOS sights, the problem I have, I'm kind of a noob to the MOS sights on a pistol. So to me, I can't get the quick target acquisition that I do with iron sights on a pistol because I'm so used to iron sights or just regular sights on a pistol that when it comes time for the red dot, I feel like I'm trying to get the dot around the frame to go right where I want it on the target. And I'm just I don't see the advantage, but I know people that train with them and people that practice with them and compete with them. They swear by them, and law enforcement, military using them and so on. But on a rifle, I mean, I love having the red dot, especially if you just need to put lead on target and you're not so concerned about, the 1-inch MOA. Definitely the way to go. But then you got to run it. Then you run into the 5 MOA, 4, 3, 2 MOA, your size of your dot, how much it's going to cover, what distance you think you're going to gauge your target at. With the Strike Fire 2 at 100 yards, that red dot covers a pretty substantial portion of a 10-inch target. So you can't, I can't just see the center of the bullseye. I'm trying to get the black of my target centered around the red dot itself at 100 yards because the red dot covers a pretty decent chunk of that. So that's something else you got to think about if you do go the red dot. I would say go with the smallest dot you can. That's just my opinion. But I don't know, Dead Horse, what's your thought on that? What do you guys think? Anybody on the panel, what do you guys think about the red dots on your rifles? Is there a certain number you go for? Do you go for a 2 MOA or a 4 or 5 or 3? What do you guys do?
All of them. Just it depends on what the purpose of the rifle is. But I love red dots.
What would you recommend for 50 yards defensive carbine?
Oh, 2 MOA dot. It's big enough to pick up fast and small enough dot to get some precision in to reach out.
Okay.
A 2 MOA dot you can easily reach out to 200 yards with. I mean, easily, and put down some decent groups. I mean, you really can. And so at least decent enough for defensive purposes,
Yeah.
So like a 2 MOA dot. Maybe if you're going a bigger dot, I've been running a couple 5 MOA dots, and I thought I'd really hate them, but when you get to kind of mess around with the brightness levels. And some dots are real deceptive. They're like, a 2 MOA dot, but that's on setting number 3. And in bright daylight, you can't see setting number 3. So you got to turn it up to setting 9 or 10 anyway or something. And at that point, that 2 MOA dot's really a 4 MOA dot now. So some red dots are really deceptive like that.
You got to mention this. If somebody has astigmatism, you got to watch out because my stepdad has issues with red dots. They look like starbursts when he looks through them. They're not, he's had trouble finding a red dot that actually works with his vision, his eyesight. Now I've got astigmatism and nearsightedness too, and I don't have a problem with it, but everybody's eyes are different. So you could get it and think, oh my God, this thing is blurry. Well, it could actually be your eyes and not the device itself. That's something else you have to watch out for when you get those. But
I run a,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
I run a 5 MOA dot on my AK, and that works out fine for that. I mean, you can still hit a steel plate pretty easily at 100 yards with it, even with the 5 MOA dot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is an AK.
A man-sized target. Well, exactly. It's an AK. I don't expect it to shoot bug hole groups at 300 meters. With a 5 MOA dot, I can see enough even out to 200 yards to hit like an 18-inch steel plate with it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that depends on your
application. Aren't AKs supposed to be accuracy by volume?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Another thing is our technology and our glass clarity and stuff has gotten so good in recent years. We have optics now that are 1 to 4 power, or 1 to 6, or even 1 to 8, or 1 to 10 power. That down on 1 power give a true 1 power
Yes.
perception and can basically be used as a red dot with an illuminated reticle.
Mhm.
And then when you need to crank up that power, you can easily crank it up to 8 power or whatever to reach out.
I have
And with the first focal plane scopes being so affordable nowadays, where just 10 years ago, I mean, you had to be super rich 10 years ago to get a first focal plane scope. But nowadays, I mean, for $300-400, you can get into a decent first focal plane.
See, I have a Millet 1 to 4 that is not that expensive of a scope. It's less than a $300 scope, and that's almost a true one. I mean, I can shoot it both eyes open easily when it was on my AR on 1 power, and it didn't mess you up too bad.
And I think that's a really good option. And I believe I think mine's a 2 to 7 on my 300 Blackout, but it's a Nikon P300 with a 300 Blackout reticle for super and subs. And that's actually really close, within a couple inches with all the ammo I've tried at all the marked distances.
Yeah.
So without really, if you're not familiar with 300 Blackout, or you're not sure about the drops, or you're changing back and forth, that scope makes it pretty easy, like close enough to hunt with. I'll put it that way, just by going with the actual drops in the scope.
Yeah, that's interesting. 'Cause that's I was looking at doing like a 1 to 6 or a 1 to 8 on my AR my AR-10 308 build. As a like 0 to 100 yards, 0 to 150 yard, whatever, pig / brush deer rifle, rather than carrying my long bolt action. That's for I have a I'd love to be able to use my old lever action. It's a nice short carbine length, but I can't get non-leads for it because it's an oddball caliber. But that's true. So I was working on that 308 build as a viable hunting round, to replace the lever action. So it's good to know that the those like 1 to 6 powered scopes are so good.
Oh yeah, 1 to 6, 1 to 8 primary arms. It has some really nice like 1 to 8 power ones right now. Another company that's pretty new to the market, but they're making some pretty quality stuff. Addaball. And they're all offering first focal. I definitely recommend it, looking at a first focal plane option, with like a primary arms 1 to 6 or 1 to 8.
Mm. You're
And
talking about
a 300. And primary arms has a 300 Blackout reticle too, and like those 1 to 6s and 1 to 8. And that might be an option for you to look at, Travis.
Okay, now with that, for home defense, for engagements out to 50 yards, is that overkill?
Everything? No.
Okay.
That makes that gun kind of all-purpose.
Like you said, like a red dot,
Yeah. You can use it as a red dot for home defense, but you want to reach out, you want to hunt with. I mean, you can. Yeah. That turns that gun from just being it's for this specific purpose to now I can use it to so many other things.
I'm gonna have to definitely look into that, because now what are we talking price point here though? What are we looking at?
About $300.
Okay.
$300 on sale is what I see them go for at primary arms.
But
like
you look at the flexibility, you've got something where you could use it out to a couple hundred yards. I mean, I could, with a 5-round magazine and a magnified scope, I've got a deer rifle here behind me. Well, okay, that's a pistol. I'd have to run different. I'd have to run a standalone rifle. But no, I think I can hunt with this.
You can totally hunt with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think it would be any reason. As long as I've got a 5-round magazine, I'm going to be fine. So.
And you're really not diminished. You're looking at like 30-30 type numbers out of that.
For Nebraska, it's not the gun type. It's the magazine count, and it's also the power delivery at so many yards.
Yeah, and you're looking at 30-30 type numbers. That'll easily take down like a whitetail or something easily.
Hey, Sandhills, I got my gun for next fall.
Nice. I think in a pistol configuration, though, you got to make sure that it meets the pistol requirements, because only 357 and what is it? Only 357 and 45 Colt are specifically named.
But what about guys that run the centerfire pistols, that run like the Thompson Center? Like 270 break action pistols. I mean that.
Yeah, but it's as long as
Well, I
it's
think that a lot of from here, we still hunt like even if it's a pistol, if it's a rifle caliber, we hunt it under like a rifle tag. You know what I mean?
in Nebraska, it's different. In Nebraska, and that's why they changed it here a couple of years ago, because it's got to be what is it for a rifle? 400 foot-pounds at 100 yards, and for a pistol, I think it's got to be, I don't remember what the exact numbers are now. But the way that it used to read is if you hunted with a 357 or a 45 pistol, it met the requirements at 50 yards for energy. But if you put them in a rifle, they did not meet the requirements at 100 yards for energy, which was dumb, because if it'll kill a deer legally, ethically coming out of a pistol, putting it in a longer barrel just makes it faster and more energetic, right? So Nebraska has addressed that, and now 357s and 45s are specifically named. If you shoot them in a rifle, you're okay.
I'm looking up the specifics right now. I'm not trying to fact check you, but I'm just dying myself. I'm like, okay, can I hunt with this thing or not? Let's see here. You guys feel free to chat for a sec.
But like a TC Contender or something like that with a rifle cartridge in it, it's gonna easily qualify for the energy requirements.
Oh man, I could get some serious hunting game rounds also. Hey, I can get an excuse to get a suppressor and
there you go. If you get something suppressed, let's go coyote hunting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd consider it. I mean, Lincoln's got, or it's just outside of Lincoln, they've got Silencer HQ located there, which is a really nice. I've got a former student that actually works there. Did a couple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now he's an employee there. I like to give him some business. Yeah, I'm trying to find the gun requirements. I know this is making for a great podcast, but I will find out the specifics on it. I think I can do it, but I have to check and see what they say. I know for a fact it's gonna be a 5-round magazine for, and I've got a PMag. I got a 5-round PMag floating around here someplace. So, anywho, so that's, man, there you go. There's a lot of flexibility in that. So today, and you could also, if you wanted to go, 16-inch barrel, 300 Blackout, $200 upper, and then get yourself $129 lower, and then throw your optic on there. Man, that's a pretty inexpensive hunting rig if you can shoot semi-auto in the state where you live. So, Tony, is any of this enticing you at all? I know you said you would never buy an AR-15 unless it was like a 45-70, but Tony, would you ever consider like 450 SOCOM or 458 or 458 SOCOM or 450 Bushmaster or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Tony wants the 25-45 sharps.
Hey, that'd be cool if Bear Creek would make one, man. That would just be awesome. But yeah, they make like 6 different calibers or 6 or 7 different calibers of AR uppers. Now you got to watch out. The only complaint that I've seen about Bear Creek is if you get their 7.62x39 upper firing pins, you get a lot of dead primers. You have to watch out. A lot of guys upgrade a spring and a pin. From what I've seen in the feedback, when Classic Firearms, they'll feature those Bear Creek uppers for like $200 delivered, 7.62x39 magazine. Obviously you have to run different. You have a proprietary mag you got to run through it, or a special 7.62x39 AR mag. But I know guys have complained about having to upgrade their firing pins for whatever reason, or a hammer spring. Might be a hammer spring that you have to change, that and the firing pin, which you shouldn't. Yeah. I just hope that
the enhanced hammer and so the enhanced hammer spring and the enhanced firing pins, it's a slightly harder material and a slightly longer firing pin, and then the spring is a slightly higher spring rate. So it hit, because so many of the so many of those special guys are shooting the steel case surplus ammo with a really hard primer. So you upgrade the firing pin so it doesn't break, and then an upgraded spring so that way it hits it harder, so more likely to ignite.
So my question is, why isn't Bear Creek just doing this now? Why aren't they just putting the better, or are they? Why aren't they just putting, a better spring in there now and a firing pin, so people don't have to do this? So, people don't constantly call up and complain and say, hey, I've got, broken firing pin, or I'm having a lot of dead primers, Because, to expect your customers to shoot brass 7.62x39, which is about $1 a round if you buy Winchester, that's not very realistic,
One thing about that is that's actually what made me fall in love with Bear Creek. That's actually what really won me over, is I built a really high-end 7.62 by 39 rifle, and I had tons and tons of issues with it. And in trying to diagnose the issues, I bought a cheap Bear Creek Arsenal barrel. I bought a cheap Bear Creek Arsenal bolt carrier group because they were the cheapest I could get. And by swapping those two parts, the gun ran perfect and was super accurate, super reliable. I mean, and we're talking like, you know, those parts replaced parts that costed 3 times the price of those parts. And that's actually what really made me fall in love with Bear Creek. And a lot of those issues of the light primer strikes, if you look into that, a lot of those guys are using aftermarket triggers, 3.5-pound triggers and stuff that don't have the force to shoot crappy Tula ammo. And a lot of they are using an enhanced firing pin, at least in the Bear Creek Arsenal 7.62 by 39 BCG I got. You know, but sometimes if you're having issues, there are videos on YouTube on how to pull the shoulder back on that firing pin a little bit, or even how to do a mil-spec firing pin. And my advice is, if you do that, take less than what you think and go in steps.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's if you have issues, you know, maybe start looking at that route.
Now,
but a lot of those light primer strikes are actually caused by the trigger.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking at the Bear Creek website right now that they have a side charging 7.62 30 by 39, you know, complete upper for $219, 3.5 stars. You're like, oh, that thing's trash. But then you look up the reviews. A person gave it 1 star because they had a shipping issue. Another guy said it was awesome, ran great, 60 rounds, no problems, 4 out of 5 stars. So you really got to read into the reviews. Just because you look at now, if there's a bunch of 1-star reviews saying this gun malfunctions, this gun has erratic ejection, this firearm jams constantly, then you want to maybe be a little more reserved before you decide to buy it. But, and again, I hate going totally off of reviews. You need to definitely educate yourself as much as you can. But if you see a majority of complaints about something on a firearm, many times I would just say steer clear unless you really want to try to tinker with it, you know?
There's also, that's for the 2 people that tend to leave reviews on most products are the ones that are absolutely ecstatic and the ones that are absolutely furious. So
dude, just look at Yelp restaurant reviews, and it's a 5-star or 1-star. There's no in between on Yelp. You ever notice that? So, but no, I agree totally. I agree completely, man. You see that a lot when you read reviews on stuff, and there's a lot of people who complain about shipping, and you know, it's not like the company can handle delays. It's not like it's their fault if something gets lost in the mail. Once they send it, you know, as long as you put the right information in, it's coming to you. Not that something couldn't get the wrong address on it, but anywho, so. Hey, guys, I got to go ahead and call it. I've got some stuff going on this morning, so we're going to go ahead and end the episode today. But you know what? We can continue talking about this on Thursday. Maybe I can try to run and get this thing out and film some footage shooting it before Thursday. We've already got a Caliber Corner coming up on Thursday, so quick heads up. Mark your calendars. Thursdays, 5 to 7 Central Time. I know you're getting tired of me selling it to you, but a lot of people are going to wonder why we're not having an episode next Saturday. We're moving. Thursdays, 5 to 7 on gunchannels.com, 6 to 8 Eastern Time, 5 to 7 Central Time. Make sure that you do that. Make sure you go there and check it out. Maybe we'll see some of you guys back on Thursday. Maybe we'll see some new faces. I don't know. Real quick, we'll let everybody go ahead and plug their channels and say goodbye before we bug out of here. So, Blackout Outdoors, anything you want to say, brother?
Oh, not much. You can I'll plug it. I'm on Instagram now. I just started an Instagram account like 2 days ago. So
I'm going to find you. I'm going to follow you. Okay, that sounds
You're
bad.
already following me.
Did I already jump on it? Already on Instagram?
I thought so. I thought it said Travis P11.
I've got 2 accounts on there. I've got Travis.
Okay, one of your accounts is already following me, I think.
Hey, what's your Instagram account called?
Blackout Outdoors.
Yeah, all right.
Just Blackout Outdoors on Instagram. So
that's
right. Just started it out.
Commented on one of his videos, you know, on one of his IG posts, because that's for I was giving him grief about Fluffy's finally on IG, and you freaking liked the comment.
Yeah, I see you posted you did the Brokeback Mountain 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah,
you know, and I be like that. I be like that, Black Cat. It's so funny you put that on there. Stay the night. We'll zero it in the morning. Oh man, you know,
that was my first day on Instagram. I had to piss off people to start off with.
I bought the 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. I didn't think it was going to get me labeled as a effeminate hipster, but apparently that's the stigma associated with 6.5 Creedmoor. Even though it's been around for like 15 years, it still doesn't have the respect that people want to give it. You know.
I carry CZ, so evidently I'm an effeminate hipster too.
When did that happen? When did one of the best, former commie block firearms on the planet turn into something? Just because they invented urban gray doesn't mean that suddenly you're a hipster because you want to buy their product, right? It was just a marketing thing, and then people take it to, oh, now you grow your hair out and you wear skinny jeans. I can't even fit into skinny jeans. Why would you say that? Don't ever call me hipster.
Every pair of jeans looks like a freaking pair of skinny jeans on me. I'm that fat.
Oh, man. Dude, you got to go relax fit Wranglers, bro. Carpenter jeans. Go back to the Carpenter jeans or some cargo.
There you go.
That's what I'm wearing right now.
They're not cargo pants anymore. Now they're called purse pants because cargo pants have suddenly been linked to man bags, right? Somehow it's a man bag if you got – no, I wore cargo pants back in the day so I could stuff my crap in it, all right? Because I had to give up my waist bag, so I had to go to cargo pants,
I do got to ask, when you buy a 6.5 Creedmoor, do you get a man purse with it?
There was a mail-in rebate on one from Moscow.
Okay.
If I wanted it, I could have got it matching. It would have been matching colors and everything across the board. So yeah,
there you go. They give you a man purse range bag to go with it.
I tell you what, next fall when I finally get a deer with one, Sandhills, I'll let you know what the deer had to say about the 6.5 Creedmoor, and we'll see.
You finally get a chance to look at a deer.
Oh my god! You know what? If this runs, we're taking this out next year. Heck yeah, man.
I just don't want to see anything from the tent you and Sandhills are going hunting in. That's all. No live streaming from there.
Oh man, well we did.
The back seat.
What happened?
There was no room in the back seat of the Tahoe because we had too many bags of Doritos and boxes of Little Debbie snacks and Mountain Dew floating around back there for anything. And you know what's funny about that? I had one of those prepper moments. I'm gonna be okay. When we got stuck in that Tahoe, I thought we got 36 bottles of Mountain Dew. We have cases of Little Debbie snacks. We've got bags of Doritos.
Case of water.
We're fine. Sandhills' father, he'll find us eventually.
Sandhills, did he lean over and say, you complete me?
Actually, I said, bro, you want some Cool Ranch? and then Sandhills, he called this old man and said, we're stuck. And then he put on Sarge's podcast, and we're just like kicking back in the Tahoe watching an episode of Sarge's podcast. So, yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, no. Just what's that? No, I
don't. We didn't spend a whole lot of energy deer hunting, that's for sure.
Oh no, it was more time shoveling, but that's okay. That's okay. It's hey man, all I care about is you got your vehicle out before the tundra started to melt. So before the permafrost started to turn into slush,
Right.
Oh my god. But anyway, enough of that. You guys want to see the hijinks
over here up there where you don't go through there.
Oh man, you guys keep talking about chili over in the chat. It's making me so hungry right now. All right, so let's move on. Calaveras, anything you want to say before we go, bro?
I appreciate the invite to the channel, to the show. Don't know if I'll be able to make any of the Thursday events, but I'll try where I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, it's been a good program and learned a lot from everyone on here. So I appreciate it, and let's all hope that the federal courts on the magazine issue in California goes through.
Yeah.
Especially because if it does, then we can set precedent. Maybe we can get AWAG out from underneath his mag restrictions and get some of these other ridiculous laws across the country defeated.
I'm telling you, if they lift that, you plan a road trip to the nearest Bass Pro Shops and get your butt over there and get some get some PMags.
I've got a Bass Pro here in town, and a Sportsman's Warehouse.
I wonder if they would get them in. Hell, Magpul would probably airdrop them on your neighborhoods. You have crates of them landing in all the suburbs of California. People are tearing into them, throwing PMags up in the air like they've done before for the states that were going to go to mag restrictions. They dropped off the emergency drops of PMags for everybody. Oh, I love Magpul. I'm sorry. I just think that's beautiful. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, they definitely made a media frenzy when they started doing that, but it got their point across.
You got to your mailbox. Honey, what's this? Hey, they just go door to door and start stuffing mailboxes with PMags and stuff. That'd be freaking awesome. Oh, man. All right. So anyway, man, well, if you can make it, you make it. Like I said, at some point we may go back to Saturday mornings, but there's a Saturday morning slot for rent. If anybody wants it now, you can have it. It's definitely there for you guys if you want it. If I decide to do something on Saturday, I'll let anybody know that I got something coming up. But like I said, Thursdays is going to be interesting for me. I'm probably still going to be wearing my work clothes, but anyway, we'll keep it real the whole time. So
you have to wear a tie when you teach?
No, I could if I want to, but I don't.
Of course, Sandhills took it to the serious. I was going to say, we don't need to see the male stripper uniform. Thank you.
For me, ties are reserved for weddings, funerals, and parent-teacher conferences, mainly because they rub on my neck meat. I get a rash when I wear a necktie. I don't have those like calluses going on around here where I got a, kind of a fat neck, so it doesn't, even with a wider collar, it's more the rubbing on the fabric. I can do a tie if I need to, but I don't like to. I mean, I've got, like dress shirts on and slacks and dress shoes and things like that. But
I figured you Creedmoor guys wear a bow tie to go with the chaps.
Oh yes, yeah, no, I've got my my Urban Outfitters skinny slacks on, and I've got my Gap plaid shirt with my bow tie, and a stick-on man bun. As somebody said, you get a free stick-on man bun with every 6.5 Creedmoor rifle that you purchase. So,
I heard you get a 10% discount if you have a man bun going on.
You get a free Coldplay CD with every rifle. That's included too. So. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now let's not go into the coffee arena because I am I'm not going to say coffee snob. I will sit down and drink an instant cup of Nescafe Classico with anybody, but I'm a coffee sewer, right? Coffee connoisseur, coffee junkie, man. I love the different varieties and the different regions and the differences between the flavors and the taste and stuff like that. So what's going on here? Somebody's telling me get a necktie, not a rope you tie around your neck. You're doing it wrong. What? John Z, what are you talking about, brother? Get a necktie, not a rope you tie around your neck. You're doing it wrong. Not a rope? Dude, I would never do that.
This is MAGA country.
Jarvis jams out Skillet with his French roast. What? Skillet's a contemporary Christian rock band, man. They're awesome. I don't make fun of Skillet.
Not Skillet's a hipster band either.
No, they're actually very hard, man. They're up there. Anyway, geez, what a visual. What's that? Me singing Coldplay or what? All right, so hey, we got to go on here with the goodbyes. All right, so Dead Horse, dude, thanks for being here. If you can make it on Thursdays, that'd be awesome. Again, I love talking guns. It's great having you on here, and I'm sorry it took 87 episodes to get you here, but
I was on. I think I was on probably like within a dozen episodes.
Okay. Well, and like I said, anybody that wants to be on, if you seriously want to talk guns or chat, just shoot me an email at thecalibercorner@gmail.com, and I'll let you on. I mean, I'm cool with that. I mean, unless you're gonna yell at me for something, I suppose we can debate, but no, I appreciate it, dude. Anything you want to plug on your channel at all? What can we find if we go there?
Actually, I want to plug someone else's channel if I can.
Yeah.
I found this new channel the other day, and I learned some things, and I thought he had some really good information, especially about SIGs, and I've watched about a dozen of his videos so far, and like I said, I just barely found his channel the other day, but it's called The Falling Hammer, and I posted it there in the Gun Channels chat, there in the side, and but yeah, I thought he had some really good information, and yeah, I would like to see some more content from him. So I think he needs some more subscribers. So yeah, I'm sure if you just type in YouTube The Falling Hammer, and I posted his link out there.
There you go.
Yeah, check him out. I thought his channel was. I think that's going to be a channel to keep your eye on. I really do. I think that channel might go somewhere.
And I want to say something real quick. He's not with us, but David Bowling, the Kingpin, his SIG overview. Hands down, that was amazing. He used the Patriot in the Dark application where he went front to back, top to bottom, discussed all the features, the gun itself, the layout. I mean, really, that David Bowling's tabletop on that P229 it's up there. That's pretty much the standard that I think we need to follow when it comes to describing handguns. Nothing bothers me more than when you watch a gun review and the guy's sitting there staring at it saying, "Yeah, it shot good. You can grip it good." I mean, dude, he went through the whole thing, and it was
you
amazing.
have watched my reviews.
So, but no, check out Kingpin's channel. I know he's not with us today, but do check out Kingpin. That SIG P229 overview that he did was amazing. If I was thinking about buying a gun, that would give me all the details that I need. And again, shout out to Patriot in the Dark, because it was the idea of describing stuff with a little more detail for people that might be visually impaired, but it also really gives you a good image of what you're looking at, I mean, and why. So that was, man, I was blown away by that last night. But anyway, so Dead Horse, thank you again, man. I do appreciate it. We will definitely check out the channel. We've got the links over there. Did we get them over to the Caliber Corner side? Is it over there? Or not Caliber Corner.
I posted
the Gun Channel side. All right, I posted on Gun Channel, so we're good. All right, yeah, do check out the Falling Hammer. It sounds like it's a lot of good stuff. So, all right, man. Okay, Gizzard Gary. Hey man, are you gonna go get yourself an AR now or what? Did I entice you a little bit? That's Taurus money behind me right here, bro. That's Taurus grade money right there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear you, but go ahead.
Well, I got some road noise going on, so I'm currently on the Kansas Turnpike headed to my daughter's. So I'm on Bluetooth in the car.
See if I can get you to. I'm trying to. Unfortunately, it doesn't let you easily access everybody. Here, let me boost it. Oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead, Gary. Do you want to go ahead and plug your channel real quick before we go?
Yeah, real quick, gizzardgary.com is where you find me. Check out Foul Territory Friday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and the Early Bird Chat Sunday morning, 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
There you go, man.
Give them the bird.
Always, man. Give them the bird. Guys, make sure you subscribe to everybody on this channel. Check out their content. They got a lot of great videos. All right, man. Thanks for being with us, Gary. Appreciate it, bro. All right, Sandhill Shooter. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, let's just reiterate the fact that we're raising some money for flood and blizzard victims out across Nebraska. And I know if you're not from Nebraska, you're seeing a lot of maybe images now of around Omaha, Council Bluffs, some places like that. But every place that is a river in Nebraska is having issues, and any place that isn't on the news. I mean, there's a lot of cattle, a lot of crops, a lot of everything that have been affected. So we are trying to raise some money to help out our neighbors here in our state. And anybody that wants to do that can go check out the video that I posted up called Nebraska Strong, and I'll throw that again in the chat just so that everybody can get to it. But if you can't or don't feel compelled to donate, that's okay. I would appreciate your help, though. Still, just share the video and ask everybody that you show it to share it as well. That'd be awesome. And catch us Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Central Time on Sandhill Shooter channel for 2A Tuesday chat.
Right on, man. Right on. Dude, check it out. Those great chats on Tuesday night. Like I said, we could pretty much, if Gun Channel's had its own network on Hulu, not on Hulu, but on Roku, we could have like 24 hours of content spooling the whole time. You'd never run out of something to listen to. We should. I wish we had a Roku channel going where we could funnel over our podcasts as they happen. You know, they would just kind of pour it over there. It'd be sweet. I have to put G-Webs on that one. I want Gun Channel. I want the Gun Channel's channel. That's what I want.
I wonder if we could do something like what are the podcast channel, like Stitcher or SoundCloud or something. I wonder if we could just get like a Gun Channel's.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen that. Hey, on Roku, there's community churches that have a channel on Roku. So I mean, I mean, there's a lot of amateur stuff that pops up channel wise. They're not all like network paid channels on Roku. I don't know what the laws are, what the rules are about posting stuff on a Roku channel, but it would be pretty cool. I mean, I need to look into the Caliber Corner channel. There we go.
But either way, thanks for the invite, and I will try to represent as much as I can on the new night and time.
There you go. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Awesome. All right, Squib in the house. Squibby, are you still mobile, or have you got to where you need to go?
Nah, I'm moving around.
Okay.
I didn't jump in earlier because either somebody said what I was going to say, or the things I would have said might have led to a heated disagreement. So I said, you know, I'll just sit back and listen. But
all right.
I mean, I popped in there on some of the 300 Blackout stuff just because I've got a little bit of experience with it, and so far so good. It's a really awesome round.
And you recommend Anderson, right? You run Anderson uppers, no issues.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that Anderson. It's an Anderson upper lower, and it's running a reliable bolt carrier group. So no issues with any of that. I think it's got Yankee Hill sights, flip up sights. Dead Horse helped me with that. I needed to get a matching set, and the information I found online was no good, but Dead Horse got me all hooked up with the right part numbers. So thanks, Dead Horse. So I guess thanks for the invite to what is potentially the last Caliber Corner on Saturday for a while. So it's been fun being on Saturdays, and I'll do my best to jump in on Thursday nights if there's an open spot.
Yeah. No, man, that's awesome. Like I said, you ever want to say something, you speak your mind, dude. It's all good. I mean, this is I'm not gonna this is budget price gear. I don't want to call bottom of the barrel, but it's not the most expensive stuff that we're running here. And there's always anything we have on here. There's always going to be something better or something that's going to work more. If a person puts some money back, they can always go with something higher end. I'm never going to disagree with that. I'm always trying to bring the cheapest stuff I can to viewers and stuff. But yeah.
A lot of times I've got a different opinion on a lot of things, and I'm really not trying to stir up trouble. It might sound like it. I'm opinionated, and I'm not afraid to voice my opinion, but there are times where I just decide, I'm just going to hold my tongue because it's really not value added.
Well, I mean, like I said, having a channel, everybody that has comments has an opinion on something, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes you don't even understand what somebody's trying to say, but it's there. So, All right. Well, no problem, man. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully we can see you on Thursdays too. So we'll do that. All right, and we always save the best for last. Tony, man, what you think? How you doing today? You still with us, bud?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'll just
ooh,
hopefully show this to Squib.
Oh, are you hanging like? Are you sticking on the side? Are you like Spider-Man? Are you on the side of the wall? We got you.
No. It's turned sideways.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I got you. All right, what are you doing there? What are you cleaning off, Tony?
I just bought a 1858 Uberti Remington clone.
So is it an Army or Navy?
Army.
Okay, so it's 44. All right.
Air Force?
No. The Navy would be 36 caliber, and Army would be 44 caliber. So.
Tony, did you go buy that because of the discussion we had the last two podcasts about the Old West guns? Did this put it in your mind that you got to go out and snag one now?
No, actually, I was looking at it, and I forgot to close it out, and my granddaughter bought it for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Is she old enough to use a credit card? I hope so. I hope she.
They already had my credit card on file. So.
Okay. I gotcha. Oh, man.
One of those things.
Yeah.
Say everybody have a good day.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tony, hopefully we can see you on Thursdays too. All right.
Yeah, 5 o'clock is not too late.
It's going to start running into some people's dinner time and people coming home from work and stuff. But like I said, it's the best I can get right now unless something else pops up. But for me, it's towards the end of the week. I have a little more free time. I'm not so restricted. But again, we'll be done before Sarge kicks off at his time. I think it's, was it 8 o'clock Central time or 9 o'clock Central? Or no, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern. 9 Eastern. Well, yeah, 8 o'clock my time. We'll be done before then. So.
When Sarge isn't able to come on, Obnoxious One comes on in his place. So they kind of bounce back and forth, alternate Thursdays. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to cork anybody. I don't go there. So
you don't want to cork the Dumpster Fire show?
No, I don't want to be the new Dumpster Fire either. So I don't know why they say that. Those shows are freaking awesome. You guys need to give yourselves more credit. These podcasts are great, man.
It's part of the shtick.
I know. Watch the train wreck happen. Come watch my podcast, right? So, okay, guys, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and see who was joining us. We had a lot of people commenting. John Z was with us, Guy That Comments, Rich White, Black Cat Outdoors, Dead Horse, Poor Conservative, Sandhill Shooter there and here, Calaveras 32 Special there and here, Tahuya P29, Tacos and French Fries, always with us. Again, Black Cat Outdoors there and here. We did see SS Pond earlier. Cowboy Swami's with us. Patrick joining in. Potatoes and Lead. Hey, Cowboy Swami, thank you for the compliment, bro. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Mel the Nut with us. Mel, you and I think the same, man. I swear to God, it's psychic today, brother. It's pretty Midnight Range is with us. And Guitar Man Pete. Let's see. I think that's 182nd Ideas did join us. So thank you very much, sir, for being with us today. I think that's 2 Live Moo in the house. AC97, Mr. Knives was here too. All right, good to see you guys joining in. Kendrick 98 and anybody I missed, I want to apologize for that. Razor JB and Sean Ponnery. All right, let's go and check over on the gun channel side. I did see, I think Patrick might have been over there for a while. Sandhills was over there. I'm just refreshing the comments right now. And we'll see what it says. It did go to, unfortunately, it timed itself out. So anyway, if you guys are joining us over in the gun channel side, thank you guys for doing that. Oh, here we go. Here's Caliber Corner. All right, we can bring it up real quick. Got to give props to everybody that's out there. Do sign up for gunchannels.com, and please make sure you guys get over to guntube.org and support that also. There's a Patreon for that one. Dead Horse, Paper Plane Crash, Calaveras, Sandhills. You guys are holding it down on the Gun Channel side, so thank you so much. So, again, this has been Caliber Corner, episode number 87, where we covered all kinds of fun topics, had some great discussions. We will continue on Thursday. Don't know what the topics are yet, but we'll kind of see how the magazine ban turns out if we get more information this week, or the declaration of it being unconstitutional for California. Possibly get out and run a few rounds through this thing and talk about that. But otherwise, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you guys soon.
Bye, Alicia.
Anyone? Adios, Felicia. And we are